This special presentation of Brett Keane, Counterdictions of a God Believer, is brought to you by Too Beautiful to Live. We want to let you know about one of the best kept secrets in podcasting. It's called Too Beautiful to Live, and it's a daily show about two friends puzzling their way through the news and their own struggles. Hosted by Luke Burbank and wait, don't tell me, Andrew Walsh. Too Beautiful to Live covers topics that range from the science of dog sneezes to fast food marketing wars. But it's more than a daily podcast. It's a dedicated community that's led to questionable tattoo decisions, cross-country meetups, and even a fan podcast. Check out Too Beautiful to Live on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and anywhere else that you can find podcasts. Too Beautiful to Live, easy to love, hard to explain.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Hey man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist? It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be light.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Drunken Peasants Brett Keane
edition.
Special Edition.
Yeah.
And we're all in such a great mood.
Because Brett made us wait an hour before showing up. All right. There was an emergency situation.
But don't worry, there was an emergency.
That Brett will not explain in any detail at all.
It's we're not allowed to know what the emergency was,
not even
but
the
it
most
was really
not even
bad.
the most vague of terms.
And we have Brett here live sitting in front of a giant fan.
Yes. Hey, Brett, how you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I'll go ahead and just tell you what happened.
Okay.
I had a friend who's been very sick and ended up wondering if he was going to be okay. Had to get some family together to deal with it.
Uh-huh.
So that's,
and you did that. And you did that in an hour.
No.
Yeah.
In exactly 1 hour from the time he was supposed to show up.
From the time he was supposed to show up, he got his family together to deal with this sick friend. That there's a situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there was a situation with some individuals, and that's what happened. So
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, we had a situation over here too, dude. So we're not feeling too great either. We sat here holding our dicks for an hour waiting for a fat fucking manatee to show up. So
Be nice, Paul. Be nice to the manatee, Paul.
I'm sorry, manatee. I'm sorry for your loss.
All right, Brett. So I've been dying to ask you this question. The rind of Zao Dedon. Do you remember?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He was ready for that one.
Wow.
But we have do we have the video of Brett saying that? Yeah.
We do indeed.
Where is that?
It should be the first one on the list up there.
Brett workout?
No, there should be one called The Rind of Zao Dedon.
Nope.
Actually, maybe this is the wrong playlist.
We might be looking at the wrong playlist here. We got one, though. The Rind of Zao Dedon.
We've also had Chairman Mayo?
There it is.
The Chairman Mayo thing was actually the Vigilant Christian.
Oh, that was
We've
okay.
talked about dicks and hands and now ding-dongs.
We don't say ding-dongs.
Yeah, Zao Dedon.
Zao Dedon. Dedon.
It was actually you that said it, Brett.
Yeah, it's a direct.
It wasn't us. We can actually show you the video too if you think we're making it up.
It's a direct quote.
Let's take a look. The Rind of Zao Dedon. It's right there. You were just on it. It's up a little.
All right. So I mispronounced.
That's an understatement.
All right.
All right. When is it on this?
Now, people ask me, they say, the only justification atheists have ever had for fucking with me over happens whenever they decide they don't like another atheist out there.
Fine.
Well, history.
Here we go. We're in the zone.
Okay.
All the way back to the day of Joseph Stalin, atheist dictator, killed 60 million people. How many of those people do you think were other atheists, huh?
Here it is.
How many atheists do you think got killed during the reign of Zao de Dawn?
Okay.
All right, so first of all, what the fuck is a rind, and who the fuck is Zao de Dawn? What is a rind? What, Brett, is a rind, and who the fuck is Zao de Dawn?
Oh, well, shit. Wasn't that was that a video where I was sitting out on the deck or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. You know what? I wasn't sharing the video with him, so I'll do that.
But he heard it, though. He heard himself say the rind.
Let's share with Brett. Let's go ahead. Okay.
What the fuck is the rind? First of all,
is fucking stupid.
Whoa.
is rind supposed to be rain? First of all, right? So you were trying to say the reign of Mao Zedong, or what?
I don't know. Rain, Rune. Who gives a fuck?
We can back it up again, Brett. You guys want to hear it one more time? Because I love the way he lingers on.
Well,
the
rind
ball.
and rain are not the same word. I mean, words actually do matter, Brett. That's called equivocation.
I hear you. This is coming from the guy who stutters all the time. I hear you.
All right, let's take a look. Let's take a little look at that.
Let's hear it one more time because it truly is beautiful.
Million people. How many of those people do you think were other atheists, huh?
Good question.
How many atheists do you think got killed during the reign of Zao de Dawn? What a fucked up name that guy's got, right?
So you even emphasize the name at that point.
Zao de Dawn.
I think the point being made, Brett, if you don't understand why it's such an object of ridicule, is because you're talking about something and you can't even pronounce the name of the person you're talking about. I know you can say, "Oh, he committed these atrocities," and that's what you believe, but you don't even know the name of the person you're talking about.
Well, what did Zao de Dawn do, Brett?
Yeah, what exactly did he do?
What is he responsible for?
All right. Is this thing working now?
I mean, it was working before.
I hear you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's never stopped working.
What's up?
It's never stopped working.
I said, oh my God. We're back here again. So what did Zao de Dawn do? What is he known for, Brett?
I don't know. Probably licking ding-dongs as far as I know.
Come on, Brett. What did
Well, you mentioned him.
You said he committed atrocities.
All right, so you're hearing this video talking like an authority about these atheists are always killing
these
each other.
atrocities.
Like, how many atheists died during the reign of Zao de Dawn? And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't know shit about Zao de Dawn.
Like, what did Zao de Dawn do?
Yeah, I mean, you're
What's he known
you're
for?
I mean, if you just don't know, just say you don't know. That's fine.
You're an expert on the history.
I'll hook you up. Here you go.
Cool.
Are you?
Okay. Oh, you got to pull up the Wikipedia
You're
for
gonna
Mao.
read us a
Okay.
Wikipedia
Okay.
article?
Okay, cool.
Jesus Christ. Zao de Dawn.
Keep thinking quick on those feet.
We're asking in your words, Brett, not Wikipedia, not somewhere else. Like, what is?
Yeah.
It's my website, man.
On your website.
Your website.
Which you copied from Wikipedia.
Okay.
Cool.
Penis.
But Brett, can't you just speak extemporaneously about this? Why do you need to go to your website? I mean, you're clearly making a video here. It looks like you're just talking off the top of you're going off the dome.
Have you? Okay, I'll answer that. Have you seen my list of atheist killers and criminals? And
I
I've got
looked
a
at
list
a,
of
I looked at a
prisoners,
bunch
too.
of them.
Yeah,
we've
we
seen
did.
them.
Yeah,
We did.
I looked at a bunch of them today, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't keep track of every single damn one of these criminals out there in the
Right, but you don't know who Mao Zedong was? Why do you mention him in this video so offhandedly, like you're just conversationally
That
mentioning
video's a long
Zao de
time
Dawn?
ago.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough ago for you to have forgotten the rind of Zao de Dawn, is it? I mean, how many atheists died under the rind?
Look at me in the picture. It's obvious I'm fucked up that day. I'm wearing pink glasses and everything. Look
You're
at it.
fucked up?
Hold on.
Okay, so wait.
what?
The excuse is that you're fucked up.
So what are you on here?
What
No.
drugs are you on in
You're
this
fucked
picture?
up. Yeah.
I have no clue.
Oh no!
You don't know.
Oh
what drugs
no! You can't go back.
You don't know what
Don't be
drugs
coy.
you take?
Don't be coy, Brett.
So Brett, you'll put any drug into your body. If we showed up and had some mysterious pills, you just go, well, fuck it, whatever.
What happened to
No. I was saying
how do you
just
not know what
fucked
you're
up
taking?
where I just wasn't on my ball game that day.
Oh,
You
come
weren't
on.
on your ball game.
Yeah, that's what it means when I
Wait
say
a
I'm
minute.
fucked up.
You
all
mean
the
you weren't
time.
on the ball? Because I wasn't on a ball. I wasn't on my ball game. Isn't a fucking turn of phrase.
No.
A whole different ball game. That's a turn of phrase. But you're either on the ball. Never mind.
All right, so Brett, let me just ask you this. Let me just back off this line of questioning a little bit, and maybe just come at it from a different point of view. Your thing right now is that you're mainly you've stopped focusing on videos so much, right? And now you're more focused on writing articles for GodTVRadio.com.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean,
some of it.
I mean, you see, like it seems like you're updating that a lot recently. Yeah. Like that's like your focus right now.
Yeah.
So we had a question, and it's not pertaining to you specifically, but just your opinion on something in general. And I have to preface this because I don't want you to think we're accusing you of anything, but just in general. What do you think of plagiarism in general? Not pertaining to you, but in general.
Well, I've actually put a page together on that as well, if you're interested.
Well, we're interviewing you, Brett, so I'd like to hear from you directly.
Yeah, I mean, we could check your pages anytime we want.
Yeah. We're here to interview you, not have you read Wikipedia to us and check your pages.
But what do you, think
know what
about
I mean?
it in general terms?
I, of course, don't think people should do it.
Hump a monkey.
Well, so what do you consider plagiarism to be? What is, in your personal opinion, what do you consider someone to be a plagiarist, like what they're doing? Like, what is the standard of plagiarism in your mind?
I guess stealing work without giving credit.
Without giving credit.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually claiming someone else's work as your own. So that's the easiest way to say it. You agree with that?
Yeah, I suppose. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Brett, I mean, what exactly image are you trying to put forth at this point? Because it seems like you're trying to do like this whole like, I'm an intellectual, I'm someone you should take seriously. Yet, I mean, we ask you the most basic questions, and you have no real answers whatsoever, other than just, I was obviously fucked up that day and all this.
He's also a wholesome family man, too.
Well, guys, I did post a page stating, letting the public know I'm not a professional. Expect there to be problems, issues, all this.
I hope your family dies in a fire.
Whoa!
Wow!
Whoa! Wow, Brett.
That was pretty rough.
You guys grabbed up some good audio bites, did you?
Fuck you.
Whoa!
Fuck your family.
Sounds like Brett was attacking someone's family there.
Brett's angry.
You're a bunch of dirty-ass losers.
That's one of my favorites right there.
You guys got a soundboard now, huh?
We've had a
I don't know what you're
soundboard.
talking about, Brett.
We've had a soundboard for a while.
DJ is love.
I am.
Wow!
Thanks, Brett. Man, we should have just given this soundboard $1,000 and just interviewed the fucking soundboard, dude.
So, Brett, we have I think a lot of people have an interesting theory about you. So you admit that you brought up TJ's banana video quite often. You know, I would say you admit that's true, would you not? You've talked
Have
about
I brought up his banana video?
Yeah, and the videos you've made, you've talked about TJ sticking a banana in his ass.
Yes,
numerous times.
Yes, various times.
Okay.
Sure.
I think we think it's kind of strange. At least most people think it's strange that you bring up another man's dick and balls and ass a lot.
Yeah. And you also called me a sexy biatch.
So, I mean, we're wondering, is there any attraction
in our Twitter
to TJ?
messages?
You feel any sort of attraction to TJ?
I feel like there is definitely a repressed sexual attraction that Brett
I
has
think he
for
wants
me.
to ride that donkey, dude.
I think so.
That's me being funny, but I do think that there is some sexual frustration from your perspective, though.
Oh, really?
Oh.
But none from yours.
Example why. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I don't often watch DP, but people have shared clips with me where you talk about dreams that you've had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Dreams of having sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's a joke. Or are you serious?
What?
What do you?
I don't even know what the fuck is going on.
So, but Brett, so why do you mention TJ's penis so often?
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, it's already been revealed that TJ did these things. Everyone knows that. But so why do you go on and on about his penis? Is what I'm asking.
And my
well, I
butthole.
mean, people do that in the chat rooms and all that. It's
No,
just
but yeah, sure.
You've held on to the banana
but
thing
you've talked
way
about it and made
longer than
videos
most
about
people
it,
did.
and you inform people about it. So why do you? What is the connection that you feel people like? Do you feel like that says something about his character? Or like, what is it, Brad?
No, I don't think it hurts you as a person or anything. I just think it's funny.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let's
After all
be
these years?
honest. If I were to take a cucumber or a pineapple, shove it up my ass like Evil Nicky, that shit would be all over DP. That'd be your fucking
sure.
Of course.
Yeah, but for like a few months.
Yeah, but we wouldn't ride into the ground after years.
Yeah, I mean, like
at a certain
after
point,
years and years, you
it's
would have
not
done
funny.
so much other scummy shit and crazy shit that we'd have so much other shit to talk about.
TJ's micromanagement situation.
My micromanagement.
That's one of the things he
situation.
does. He when he does his when he holds King Manatee's court, when he does his hangouts, his like 5-6 hour hangouts, he'll like when people come in, he'll be like, "Oh, have you seen the pictures of TJ's micromanagement?" Like he distributes porn of you to people. So it goes a little beyond. Like, you know,
jokes.
like just jokes. It's like everybody that comes through one of those fucking long ass unwatchable hangouts, you're like, "Hey, have you seen TJ
But I just
put a banana
I just
up his
found out
ass?"
today though that Brett likes me, okay, but
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
really hates is how I let you, Paul,
Yeah.
just do whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, because
You're the real piece of shit here, Paul.
Yeah, that's the only problem he
Is
has
that
with you is
true,
that
Brett?
you let me.
You like
Yeah.
TJ, but
Yeah.
you have a thing against Paul.
And he hates the the DP Wiki people because they write bad stuff about him.
Oh,
And I'm supposed
No,
to
not
control
about
what
me.
they do.
I don't.
Oh,
give a
your
shit about
family.
that.
They're about your family. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't you write bad things about your family,
I
though?
mean, you've written some bad things about your own sister
and your mother.
as of late, and your mother too.
that's a pretty good segue. I did pull some pictures.
Where are
some,
those?
Some screenshots. They should be on the list. They've got weird names, but they're pictures. They're all 10 seconds long. Yeah.
Okay.
PNGs.
So let's see.
PNGs.
Now, guys, I am totally open to answering your questions and all that, but I was wondering if I could also ask some questions after you get done.
Sure,
I
right.
mean, we can sprinkle some questions
Yeah, go
from
ahead.
you throughout.
All right, so let's
After we do
just,
this, we'll give Brett some time to
let's
answer
just
some
take a look
questions.
here. Here we got this back to church thing.
Okay.
Last Sunday, when I went, I was informed from a relation that there might be a chance that Brett Keane, the host and creator of God TV Radio, who's tried to help thousands of people find Gord, might go to hell. I know the relation only said it because they want people to go to church with them. This person feels alone and close to the end of their life, so I took it personal only for a little while. Brett, do you really believe that you have led thousands of people to God?
I believe that I've spoken out about it by doing the videos. I mean, clearly, when you guys do videos and you have people watching, some of them are going to be influenced and
People
inspired.
watch us. People watch us.
But you're not really a proselytizer so much, Brett. You really kind of just you focus on petty drama and grievances with other people.
Well, notice the equivocation there is he tried. I'm trying to
Oh,
do
he's
that.
trying.
He's trying to do it.
Well, he's not doing
Yeah.
a very good job. But okay.
No.
So it's all about the attempt. So what else is in here?
This is just Brett complaining that church is boring, basically.
Right. Well, it is.
It is.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. So what would a Brett Keane church service be like?
We would have Slayer, maybe some guest appearances by Marilyn Manson,
What?
a little bit of talking, and also the audience should be able to participate in questioning.
So every church everywhere is going to have Slayer
Manson.
somehow, and maybe a little
I don't
Manson
think it
for
could be
me.
Slayer. I think we throw Megadeth into one, Metallica in another. Old Metallica, though.
Okay, so you're gonna get like so basically your solution to church is to turn it into a metal concert, starring some of the biggest
more
bands.
Interesting. It's just it's the same. It's
Well,
got
obviously
Brett
Paul-
didn't Brett make a video saying Manson was lame and shit?
Yeah, he did.
well,
Yeah, he
okay.
did. Man,
Man,
that's
like,
fine.
I
who
did
cares?
that to goof on you, TJ. I knew that would aggravate you.
Okay.
Okay.
I like some Manson.
So how do we tell the difference between the stuff you actually mean and the stuff you just do to goof with people?
Well, my goodness, if you went over my side, I don't know if you hear the music. I actually got the Beautiful People on there. I've got Sweet Dreams, their version
So,
of it.
how did that answer the question that was
Yeah.
just posed to you?
I don't know.
Well, come on, guys, we joke.
You know what?
We joke, but here's the difference, Brett.
Sense of humor.
Most people
Yeah,
know
sure.
when we're
People have a sense of
joking and being serious. I thought I knew when you were in fact, I do know when you're joking and being serious. The question is why when you're backed into a corner on something, you go, oh, it's just a joke situation. I'm just fooling. I'm just Tom fooling around. Why do you spend 80 hours a week joking about people fucking ripping people off and micro penises and fucking bananas and
pedophilia.
Pedophilia. Why do you spend 80 hours? I just don't understand why you would devote so much of. Why would you devote so much of your life to joking? But you said you bringing up TJ's micro penis and shit is a joke.
Yeah, it didn't
Why
happen.
would you devote so much of your time, hangout after hangout after hangout, to the same fucking joke?
I haven't done a hangout in quite some time.
Oh.
So before we show the next photo here, I wanted to talk about the shenanigans Brett tried to pull during our negotiations.
No, yeah.
Yeah, we should probably air those out.
I mean, so Brett, you go into a fan group that I run. You're told what the rules are. You immediately break the rules, get kicked out, and then demand more money because of that. Can we walk you through how that's...
I did notice that you said something on I got to see a short of DP where you said that I deliberately went in to get myself kicked. I did not.
Yeah. You were shown the fucking rules, and then you broke them like the next thing you did.
Well, there was some people running their mouth at me, and I just finally realized I wasn't going to last long
So
anyway.
you deliberately did it then. That's what that means. That means you deliberately did it.
So you went somewhere, you were shown the rules, you broke the rules, and you were kicked out.
He actually went in, broke the rules. They said, wait, you can't do that. These are the rules. He goes, I don't want to read that. It's too long. And then he broke the rules and got kicked out, and then he used that as a reason to ask for more money. It's the most ridiculous thing ever.
Well, it's not just because
so why do you always try to
Why do you always
hold on. Why do you always try to like finagle that kind of bullshit where like let me create a reason to ask for more money. We made it clear to you that you weren't going to get any more than what we offered you.
Well, some people being mean on the chat, but
hold on. Was I mean to you?
Yeah, we
was
weren't
I
being
mean to
mean to
you?
you.
Well, I mean,
who was in the
on,
chat?
guys. If
Who was
you're
in the
told
chat?
that
Was their name Scotty, TJ, Benner, Paul?
People invite you to some
What the
kind of
fuck was
show
their
where
name?
people are
Brett.
gonna be
Brett. What was their name?
You don't want me to
Was it
actually
me?
answer you in a narrative?
You're not
Go
answering
ahead.
it. You're not
Take up the
answering
time.
it. You're not answering it.
Well,
Who
I'm
was-
trying to. You keep on cutting me off.
You don't answer fucking questions. All right. So was I in the chat being mean to you?
No.
So okay, if someone you know, like let's say your brother is mean to me, does that mean you owe me something?
Yeah, if Justin Keane said something nasty about me on Twitter, could we come back and say, okay, now it's only $500?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
why would
it
you
isn't
think that
just
that's a
on
bargaining
the
chip?
basis of
And these are people
being
I don't
mean.
even
I know
know,
that
really.
You guys you're gonna make a killing on these videos and shit that I'm involved in.
Okay, so
It's
now
just
the
a
truth
simple
comes out.
business matter.
Right.
Okay, so you're admitting
you were looking for some way to leverage for more money.
Yeah, but Brett, why don't you just be honest with about your intentions and say, I want
Well,
more money?
I
Brett,
think
let me
that
ask you a
whether
question.
I want
they
more
would have
money.
been
Brett,
doing
let
that
me
or
ask-
not. I've been
let me ask
feeling
you a
the whole
question,
time
Brett.
like
That's
I'm
un-
not
but that's-
getting as
Hold on.
much as
Hold
you
on.
guys
Let
getting
Brett.
at this.
Brett, let me just ask you a simple question. If you wanted more money, why didn't you simply come and say, hey, I know you guys are going to make a shit ton of money on
killing,
this.
as
You
you
guys are going to
said.
make way more than this. So how about cutting me in for a little more?
But I have said that.
Because you know what?
No, he didn't.
No, you never
you
said
didn't.
that.
I
You've
got
never
it all
said that.
over
You
my
always.
website. I have it in videos. I say I should get more money for putting up with the shit I put up with.
Oh,
We're
really?
talking about the
No.
negotiations.
I'm talking about your direct negotiations with me, with us, to do this special. Why not come to us and say that? Why you got to come with some weird subterfuge about I was kicked out of this group, so I deserve
you know,
more money?
Brett, a lot of times you're your own worst enemy. You really are, because you've just been a man and showed up
Yeah,
and said, "Hey,
you-
look, this is where I'm at. I think you guys are going to make a lot of money. Can
Well,
I get
did
more?"
feel like
You are the
people
worst
were
in the
rude,
world
but
at getting
even before
paid.
that happened, I thought that I was owed more money. I mean,
All right,
got me
so
on
here's another thing.
videos,
Well,
using my videos, that
what
kind
you
of stuff.
feel, what you think, are two, and what's that? The
All right,
actual
well, here's
reality
another.
is, are
Here's
two
ano-
different things.
Here's
Brett.
another thing that happened. I tell you, I'm going to get you a contract, and you're up my ass about this contract day in and day out. It's like, where's my contract? Where's my contract? Where's my contract? Which, first of all, I don't know why I'm beholden to your fucking timetable for getting this contract to you in the first place. But whatever. Putting that aside, once I get you the fucking contract, you write up some weird MS Paint contract that's like a paragraph long and is not legally binding whatsoever, and you like sign it with fucking MS Paint. I mean, Why did you bother me about that contract if you were just going to create your own contract and sign it yourself?
Okay. Well, for the contract itself just showed that you guys were definitely serious about getting it going.
Sure.
You have to understand, every time you've invited me to the show, you don't tell me a time. You don't say, hey, I need you to show up at this. I have
That's
to continue
bullshit.
to say, when do you want me to do this? When do you want me to do it? When I see a contract, I know for sure you're going to do it.
Right. Okay. And then when we gave you a time, you showed up an hour late.
Yeah.
Which I almost.
There was one more thing
when
I
you
forgot
wrote
to answer.
when you
the
wrote.
reason why I made up
Okay,
the
go ahead.
ugly ass bullshit thing that I did was I could not figure out how to actually sign a PDF file.
Sure.
Okay. Well, Brett, I just want to let you know that we were literally about to walk out the door before
Yeah.
you showed up.
Yeah, Brett.
and
I mean,
not
like
pay you.
you were about. I mean, if you'd waited one more minute.
Everybody
to write
here
the
would have been
Skype,
gone.
Everyone in this room would have left, and
We
you
were
would have
gathering our shit to walk
I mean, I
out
know
the
you've already
door.
got the money, but you would have had a charge back on PayPal and all kinds of shit. So I mean, like, in the future, if you're gonna fucking bug me for a time, show up at that time. I mean, there's not gonna be a future. I mean, this is the last time this is gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much fucking Michigas with you. If
But-
you could just take fucking, if you were smart enough to just go, okay, here's $1,000 and pick it up off the ground and put it in your fucking pocket and show up.
It's literally that easy.
But dude, like the shit that, like, I don't directly deal with you because you got me blocked everywhere. The shit that these dudes had to fucking put up with just to get your dumb fucking ass on a Skype call is ludicrous, Brett. It's retarded.
I don't know.
You know the type of people we've had on our show that are like way bigger than Brett that did it for free.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, and Brett gets paid 1,000 times more than they got paid. Like,
well, yeah.
We've had like multi-million channel
even more than
subscriber
that. 100%.
YouTubers on our show. We had Milo on our show. We've had people from outside of the YouTube sphere
we
on
had
our show.
Sargon, we had Dave Rubin, we had Jim Cornette. We have Mercedes Carrera. She makes a good amount of money.
But it's like getting
Milo
Brett Keane.
get burned though pretty bad over it.
He burned himself.
Well, he burned himself. I mean, we didn't do that.
Yeah, not by the virtue of anything we did to him.
In fact, we came out and defended his statements against people that were
that's
actively
beside the
distorting
point.
them. But yeah, whatever. But it is besides the point as well. But we didn't attack Milo. I mean, we argued with him when we disagreed. But we did not. We did not fucking. We did not spin him into be like, oh, Milo's a fucking horrible pedophile or whatever the fucking mainstream media narrative was.
Well, that's Brett's.
Which is probably what you would do if he was on your show.
That's another thing. Why is
No,
it
I
that
actually
everyone?
like
Hold
Milo.
on. You know, Brett. Why is it that everyone you're friends with at first, and then all of a sudden you're on bad terms with them? How is it that they all end up having been pedophiles
All
at
of
one
them.
time in their life?
All of them.
Not all of them.
TJ, Paul,
the
Happy Cabby.
character.
Happy
Well,
Cabby.
no. You've called TJ and Paul both
Both
pedophiles.
of us, yep.
Now,
And other
last time
people.
you brought that up, Paul, I don't recall you actually showing any kind of evidence of me saying that.
We don't have to show evidence that you're fucking pulling something out your ass.
We definitely have evidence you said that about TJ.
You have zero credibility in the first place, so it
TJ,
doesn't
you
matter.
already admitted that you had a conversation about the underage girl, but you later defended yourself by saying, "Oh, I was just joking and being edgy and all that." So you
Yeah,
said
with fake
it,
Sagan.
but at the time, it took years before you actually got
But
around to say it
wait.
was just a joke.
How old was this girl allegedly that he supposedly slept with? Was it 14?
13 or 14 or something like that.
Well, that doesn't really make you a pedophile. A pedophile is talking about something that's
Well,
prepubescent.
whatever.
Well,
But if you
Fake
want
Sagan asked you if you had sex with her, and you said yes. There's a video on
Yeah,
YouTube as well
I know.
as imagery
I'm
of
aware
it.
because we've talked about it before.
So
We've
I
already
didn't
talked
just
about it before
accuse
between you and
I
I.
didn't just accuse you to be a dickhead or make something up. It's what was said. But
Well,
you
no, but
defended
the thing
yourself.
is, we've already discussed it,
And you've
You
made
and I.
multiple videos about it.
And even after we've discussed it, you've continued to talk about it. You continue to make the same fucking arguments about it over and over and over again, as if it's never been addressed, which it has directly to you multiple fucking times. But
you
it's like,
read you read
the
that
same-
note on the page, right?
I don't really read your page that much. I mean,
you repeated some of what I had written earlier. In the
Sure.
show.
I repeated some of the ones from the one you specifically sent me and told me to read. Because you sent me
Well,
one
in that same message,
just
I
before
said,
we
"Look, I
came
don't
here.
really have that much issue with him anymore. The reason why these pages are put
What?
forth is because, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, the reason why the pages are even up there in the first place is I constantly get DP people questioning me. Why was this said? Why did you say this? And I say, this, here it is. I put the page together so I wouldn't have to continuously tell the story over and over.
I'm going to take a look. We don't have a picture of it for the screen, but this is the one you sent me. You sent me an article calling at Amazing Atheist Thomas James Kirk page by Brett Keane at Drunken Peasants, where you say, note, the Amazing Atheist is not a big problem for me. These pages are based on past events I no longer give a rat's ass about, blah, blah, blah. You say, truth be known, I still like the fucker. My biggest bitch with the guy is he allows Paul to continue to be a dick to me, and he's got some little losers who run his Drunken Peasants site who decided to make pages on my family.
What's interesting, though, Brett, is that you claim that TJ is a scammer. You claim that TJ is a pedophile.
If I'm such a scammer, how come I've always paid you on time?
Then why has he paid you, and why do you associate with him?
Why do you like me?
If you believe TJ's a pedophile, would you associate with a pedophile normally? If you honestly believe that.
He's already defended himself in that same message. You will see that I put forth where it says the images in the video that you've already defended yourself on the matter by saying you were joking.
He's defended himself, but do you believe? But you said you believe those allegations. Do you know not?
I figure it like this, and I'll put it as straight as possible. If you had actually done something like that and it was any more than a joke, I suspect we wouldn't be having a conversation right now. You'd probably be sitting on a cage somewhere.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, just a moment ago, Brett denied having called you a pedophile, but do we remember Palm Jam's leaked video?
Yeah.
Where he did say that he was making a video for the purpose of making Paul look like a pedophile.
Yep. Well, also,
so how about that shit,
He
Brett?
never believed that Ashley was of age. Remember that shit with Ashley?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Hold on a second. Hold on. No, Palm Jam released a video of a private conversation between you and him where you said this is when you were trying to be cool with TJ and Paul, and you did those bullshit interviews with them.
Yeah.
And you were in a private conversation with Palm Jam, and you're like, I'm going to get that son of a bitch, Paul's ego. I'm going to put out this video that makes him look like a pedophile.
Well, not to mention you brought up Ashley, Paul's girlfriend's age numerous times.
Yep. Do you remember that?
You never
Brett?
believed that Ashley was of age.
Yeah, I did bring up the age and the appearance, but I don't believe that I said anything about it being a pedophile.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course I do.
Well, you strongly implied it, though, by saying that
What does
Ashley
this
was
one
not
say?
over 18
This is,
years old.
What is
she
this
claims
here
to be
on the
20
screen?
years old. I mean, there's even deep.
She never claimed to be 20 years old because she's not. She's 23.
She claims to be the age she is.
Well, 20
she never claimed.
Years old, whatever.
Yeah, 20-something, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, Brett, I can turn around you. You claim to be this old, Brett, but how do we really know? I mean, what would we do? Send you Ashley's ID and then
I could send a license or something. Sure.
It's ridiculous.
You know what?
You could send a license.
I'm sorry, but this is getting.
Look,
this
I'm
is
not
just
the only one.
This is just look. This is all just
young.
fucking becoming the same shit that it always is with fucking Brett, where he wants to talk about this fucking drama bullshit because that's all the fuck he can actually talk about. I want to fucking expose what a fucking fraud this guy actually is fucking intellectually.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I pulled a video.
I want to fucking because look, Brett, you've made fucking videos where you say you want to like debate.
I pulled one. That's what I'm saying.
Sam Harris and shit like that.
I know we've watched it before, but I thought it was a good precursor to what we're gonna do. For
I want
at least
to see
a little chunk of this.
The reason I wanted to ask you about Zhao Dadong and shit at the beginning is because I don't think you know shit about Mao.
Yeah, I don't think you could tell me.
I don't think you would fucking stand a snowflake's chance in hell in a debate against Sam Harris or any fucking buddy with a goddamn brain in their head.
Self-evident, but yeah, that's fine. We can.
Well, I was wanting to discuss the moral landscape with Sam Harris.
The
moral landscape.
Well, I've got a fucking Sam Harris clip here. If we want to look at that, it's up there. I want to hear what you have to say.
Let's hear Brett's thoughts on this.
I want to hear your thoughts, Brett. I want to actually see what you got when you're actually challenged intellectually and what kind of bullshit you actually come up with. So here's a little bit of Sam Harris.
Little preview of the debate between Brett and Sam.
It's true that some people.
All right, so listen carefully to this.
God as pure consciousness, or as being synonymous with the laws of nature. But if we talk about consciousness and the laws of nature, we won't be talking about the God that most of our neighbors believe in, which is a personal God who hears our prayers and occasionally answers them. So I just want you to be sensitive to this, because if Michael or I say something derogatory about Islam or Christianity, which seems possible, the response from the other side shouldn't mention quantum mechanics. And it shouldn't reference a notion of God that is so denuded of doctrine as to more or less be synonymous with pure mystery or pure information or pure energy or pure anything. So I wanted to plant a flag there where you all can see it, because the God that our neighbors believe in is essentially an invisible person. He is a creator deity who created the universe to have a relationship with one species of primate. Lucky us.
All right, Brett. Do you have any thoughts on anything he just said just now?
Pretend he was saying that to you from the podium, and you're in a debate with Sam Harris.
You're sitting on the stage across from Sam Harris.
Yeah.
He says those remarks.
That was his opener, so what's your opener?
What do you got
in
against
response?
Hold on, my wife just walked in the room.
Oh, shit. She just walked in the room, huh?
Hold on one second.
Yeah, just hold on a second, folks.
All right.
Just 1 second.
It's not like we're interviewing Brett. I mean, that's bizarre.
He's talking about
so
how,
we're rude for doing what was already agreed upon. I don't understand that, but that's fine. Whatever.
All right. Sam Harris was talking about how we are one of the single species who, and this is one of the things I've talked about quite a bit, the fact that we have actually had an Enlightenment age, an industrial age. I mean, why do you think that is? If we've evolved, Tim Allen brought this up recently. Why do you think it is that we are the only species that have the abilities and capabilities that we do?
Because our species developed the biggest brain and the most dexterous fingers.
Right.
I'm glad Tim the Tool Man.
It's hard to build
brought
shit
that
with
up.
flippers, is what I'm saying, Brett, or antenna. You know, I mean, ants can build tunnels and shit, but it's hard to build a building without fingers and hands and big brains.
Also, 3.8 billion years of evolution.
So, what's the question?
Doesn't surprise you at all that there's no other species out there that even comes
Absolutely
close
not.
to it?
No,
I think it's a huge mischance that we developed the intelligence and survived long enough to get as far as we are.
Other species do use tools.
If you look at the rest of the animal world, and we're part of that, whether you like to admit it or not, none of them are building buildings, Brett.
Yeah.
That makes us unique among them.
Well, the thing is, though, I mean, like, every animal, I mean, there's tons of animals that have characteristics that are distinct from other animals. Like, there's a fastest animal. There's a fucking animal with the longest neck.
Yep.
There's a biggest animal. There's a smallest animal. So...
we just happen to be the smartest animal.
We happen to be the smartest animal. So how is that real? What is that? What point is that? Are you making there, Brett? I'm not really getting it. I'm also not really seeing how it pertains at all to what Sam Harris said.
Okay. Do you think that our evolution was by accident, chance?
By accident?
What?
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that?
What do you mean? Well, what do you mean by accident?
If it wasn't deliberate and we weren't designed, then that would mean that there had to been some accidents going through all these different mixes.
Yeah, okay.
There were random mutations.
Yeah, I was going to say mutations is a word that I'd be more comfortable using than accidents, and there would be uncountable trillions of genetic mutations between us and the first life. Yes,
right. I mean, evolution.
So
one of the fucking
mutations and changes that have went on throughout existence.
Right.
And we should suspect there would be other species that would at least come halfway as close as us.
Yeah, they're called Neanderthals.
Neanderthal.
Yeah,
you heard of them?
What about the Neanderthal?
Brett, did you know
what
that
about the
more than
chimp?
likely
A chimpanzee has the intelligence of like a 3 or 4-year-old.
If you look at my DNA, and if we look at Brett's DNA, there's a very good chance that Brett actually has Neanderthal DNA, because I do.
Yeah.
Most humans do.
There's a gorilla that they taught to speak English.
Especially Europeans.
I mean, if you're talking about animals that have at least come close to the intelligence level of humans, dolphins are posited to be almost as intelligent as humans. They just don't have the facilities to build things that we do. They live in the fucking ocean.
I mean, in some ways,
So, Scotty,
animals...
you believe that we actually have Neanderthal blood in us?
We do.
That's not a belief.
That's
verifiable.
in a DNA
That's
test.
a verifiable fact. The reason
finding this out besides on a website? Is there
Brett.
some lab we can go to compare?
Yes,
blood
yes,
Brett.
yes.
Brett.
There
All
is.
three of
Brett.
these guys have had it.
Brett, can I ask you, have you ever heard of Ancestry.com or 23andMe? Have you ever heard of those companies?
Yeah, I've heard of Ancestry.
Okay.
Sure.
They what they do is you give them a saliva sample and they can sequence your DNA based on this sample. Okay, so what happens is they can look at markers in your genetic code, which is look most of what you see, with DNA, the differences between humans are very minute, and you can look at that and you can see these markers that show that you at one point, yeah, you probably had a Neanderthal in your bloodline. Now it's a very small percentage.
It's almost nothing for Africans.
But it does exist.
Yep.
Yeah, it's mostly Europeans and then Asians. And that's where the Neanderthals lived.
The reason that Neanderthals disappeared is because they started interbreeding with Homo sapiens. That's why there are no Neanderthals walking around, just descendants of Neanderthals and Homo sapiens.
I don't just believe that because I believe it. I believe it based on the scientific evidence that leads to this conclusion.
It's an incontrovertible fact.
Okay, so you guys actually went and had your DNA checked out.
Yes, I've had my DNA tested.
Ben's been sequenced twice.
You went to the scientists and actually had your own DNA looked at.
I had my DNA looked at.
That is correct.
And you know what? I did my test separate from a family member of mine, a close family member of mine, and it matched us both up. And there was no connection between our accounts, and I didn't give any personal information. They just matched us up by our DNA. They knew we were close relatives.
See, Brett, this may be shocking to you.
Something I can look at?
Yes.
We've released it on the show.
Yep.
We've talked about it on the show. The different percentages of different DNA that everybody has. How much this? How much that?
No, I mean you actually have paperwork of you guys getting.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Brett! You can go online
23andMe.
and send in a DNA sample.
It's basically talking about your 23 chromosomes. 23andMe.
Go to 23andme.com.
Is he just playing stupid?
He's retarded.
Use some of that money that we sent you.
Why
to
are
go
you asking
sequence your fucking genome or whatever the fuck?
Why do you keep asking us this?
Yeah. What's the point?
Because you guys say that you went and got this documented. I'm just wanting to see it.
They send you a kit in the mail. You spit in a tube, put it back in the box,
millions of people have
and
done
send it to them.
Yeah.
And I know it works because it's matched me up with known family members of mine.
Not to mention the science behind DNA is
Right.
pretty fucking rock solid.
Well, I'm just
Brett,
just
this
in
is
case he's gonna
retarded.
deny that.
Are you saying that these guys didn't pay to have a DNA test done? Is that what you're impugning here?
No, I'm asking.
Okay, because it sounded like
to be shown.
Well, we don't have an easy way to show it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't come
It's
here
paperwork.
with it.
We didn't know you were going to ask for our
Ready to
DNA
go.
You already
sequences.
did a video on the showing.
We've
all
talked
that.
about it on the show.
You know, our
I'll
shows
take
are
a
like
look
2
at it.
hours long.
3 hours usually.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude.
Well, Brett, I mean, can you interpret genetic DNA? Can you make an interpretation of our DNA? So, showing you my DNA code and sequence would be pointless. You're not a biologist.
Well, neither
You're
are
not-
you.
Neither. I'm correct.
Yeah,
that's
he
why,
worked
that's
with
why,
a biologist
That's why
to
we
get his
went
DNA sequence.
Hey, Brett, that's a good point. That's why I hired a company.
The reason why it surprised me, I never got a letter in the mail stating, "Oh, hey, Brett, if you get your blood taken or you spit in a damn cup, we can get you hooked up with a Neanderthal."
That's because people don't send letters anymore, you anachronistic piece
Well,
of
Brett,
shit.
you have to pay for this service. And
Nobody's going to send you a letter in the mail going,
Well, I
hey,
would
Brett
like to see
Keane,
you guys'
let's find
videos
out
where
what
you show this
mongrel
information."
mix of piece of shit you are. You got to go pay for things. You know how to go online and look things up, Brett?
I'm not exactly sure why I would be considered a piece of shit for asking for Neanderthal DNA of you guys.
Oh my God. Dude,
this is what I'm talking about.
This is the most retarded conversation I've had all fucking
No, it's
week, and I'm
not.
a drunken
I
peasant,
want to
dude.
see these markers that you guys speak of.
All right, Scotty's pulling it up for you.
I appreciate it.
All right. I don't know how are we going to share it with this fat ass.
We're just, look, we're
You
gonna
can just log into the browser here if you
yeah,
want.
Scotty, come on, just come over
Log
here and
into
log
the
into the browser,
browser.
dude. Scotty, come log into the browser so we can put it on the fucking screen and we can show Brett.
Oh my God.
This is so retarded because we're wasting more time.
Yeah, if you can put Scotty
Here
full
you go.
screen.
Oh, it's not a waste of time.
No.
This
Just
is
have
so-
Scotty.
You guys are
Look,
the ones that brought all this up.
Chromosome pair
I'm just
2,
going with you on
Brett.
it.
You're chromosome pair 2. If your back is hair-free, a variant from your Neanderthal ancestry near the EN1 gene may be part of that reason.
There you go. You can log in right there.
Scotty, go ahead. Log on in.
All right, let me ask my wife. She's standing right here. Do they look like Neanderthals to you?
I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna be sarcastic. No, they don't look like Neanderthals.
We're not saying we're Homo sapiens sapiens. Yeah, we're not saying we're Neanderthals. We're saying we share variants in our DNA, our gene markers with Neanderthals.
Now we're starting to pull it up, and now he's like, you don't look like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't based on appearance. You can't tell anything about based on appearance.
I mean, this is the stupidest conversation. It's
You
like
guys
talking
have
to a
this up
fucking
on,
3-year-old.
DP or something I could look at?
You have caveman DNA.
The
Yeah,
thing
so do you,
that I
bro.
actually
What's
wanted
that?
to speak to Sam Harris was about his literature on the moral landscape.
Brett, you made a video that I pulled that we can play after we settle this DNA bullshit and show you Scotty's profile. Of you
Why
not
is it
challenging
bullshit
him
for? He
directly
says
on
he's
anything.
got
You were
it.
like, the title of the video is "I love debates. Bring it on, Sam Harris." And you're like, "I challenge you." You didn't say anything about no moral landscape and shit. You said you could sit down with that dude and fucking have a
hold on.
conversation.
Let's put this up
Yes,
here.
I
Here
would
we
love to
go.
have a
Brett, all right, can you
conversation
see
with him.
this?
Brett, can you see
here?
this?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's.
Let me see. Let me make my screen.
Where
big.
is it?
So this is actually.
Oh, composition.
Yep. This is actually not Scotty's. This is Scotty's girlfriend's. But here you go.
Okay, so where do I find it? Go down.
Go down here. Keep going down.
Go back one page.
One page?
Yeah.
Oh, is it under the Hallup group?
I think so.
Okay, right here?
It's
Go back.
yeah, here we go.
All right, let's see.
Yep,
Neanderthal ancestry.
Yep.
There you go. Click it.
So go
This
ahead and click on
measures
it.
the Neanderthal variance.
Okay, so
Taylor's Neanderthal variance 280. This is more than 53% of 23andMe customers.
So
Okay, they
Taylor's
got
pretty
DNA
Neanderthal.
of Neanderthals
Yeah.
for you to make comparisons with.
Learn how to interpret
Yes.
this result.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
This is a genetic test, Brett. This is not some hokey pokey bullshit.
So here's how to interpret this result. This report tells you whether or not you have certain genetic variants of Neanderthal origin out of the 2,872 Neanderthal variants we test. It also tells you whether you have any Neanderthal variants that are associated with traits in 23andMe customers. It can't tell you the precise portion of your genome that comes from Neanderthal origins or about genetic variants of Neanderthal origins not tested by 23andMe. For more information, see the scientific details section.
Yeah.
So how deep down this rabbit hole do you want to go, Brett, before you just
Or do you-
admit that you're full of shit?
Or do you think we
No,
just
I find
coded
that
this
interesting. I
website?
had no idea they had this set up.
Okay, well there you go. Now you've been informed.
I
right,
learned
so-
something new. This first time DP's been educational for me.
Oh, okay.
oh, I doubt that, Brett.
Are you surprised to learn that you're part caveman, Brett?
I don't. I think
I
in
had
his
no
case, I think
idea.
he might be the last surviving full-blooded
But
Neanderthal.
remember, we just believed this randomly. until we just presented evidence. But I guess we just made it up, right, Brett?
All right, we got your.
No, I didn't say
look,
that
let's
you
take
were
a look at
lying
your.
about
We
it.
got your
It
Sam
was no
Harris video
therapy.
here.
Oh, you were just extremely skeptical of that. That's fine, though.
Let's take a look at this classic Keane, and let's see what you say about Sam Harris.
Yep,
here.
let's do it.
Oh, God. Well, we're skipping.
skip your
So
boring intro.
good.
There we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my website, godtvradio.com, and connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to check out my brother, Justin Keane, if you're in the metal.
You realize that sometimes this shit at the beginning of your videos is like more than half of your video?
I've told him so
He
many
doesn't
times
care.
that he shouldn't do
well,
this.
He doesn't know any
Rock
different.
music. Also, check out
Just
my
trying to
son's
increase your
YouTube
view count,
channel,
Brett.
Keane's You Love. And if you want to support the Keane family, you can leave a donation.
Who the
or
fuck would
become a
wanna do that?
Patreon. It's all good.
Brett, let me ask you a
Us, I
question.
guess.
Let me ask you a question, Brett. Who on this fucking green earth has ever given you more money than me?
Well, I've already put on my website that you've actually been quite helpful
Well, no,
when it comes to those
yeah,
matters.
but what I'm saying is, I'm asking you if there is literally another person on this planet who has actually helped you more than me and the peasants in terms
I'd
of
have to say
finances.
one of my religious family members.
Okay, but we're a close second, right?
I would have to say you're definitely second.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to get that out there.
There's a bunch of people out there that
Just take a
are
look at this.
saying things like, "Oh, you would get destroyed if you debated Sam Harris."
Yep.
No, I really would love to get Sam Harris in a Google Hangout. I would love to debate him live.
Right.
You know what I would like to talk to him about?
What's that?
I'd like to talk to him about the fact that atheists have the highest suicide rate.
Oh.
Why it is they go around on video acting like life is all wonderful, but the statistics show that they're bleak and empty lies, and the acceptance
Did he say
of reality
blink?
is too hard for them.
I think he said bleak.
They destroy
He said
themselves
bleak.
daily, ladies and gentlemen, according to the stats. I would like to ask him why it is that he thinks it is. The statistics show that religious people
Why it
live
is that he
longer,
thinks it is.
happier, more joyous lives. But
All right, so let me just say first of all that even if that's true, that doesn't say anything about whether or not that's true or not. I mean, just because someone's happier believing something doesn't mean that that thing is therefore true.
Yeah, there's no bearing on if it's correct.
It actually has no bearing. Yeah, none whatsoever. So, and
Well, of
by the
course
way,
it does. Religious
okay.
people, according to statistics, live happier,
Right.
longer, more productive lives, according to it.
Well,
There's
that's,
link right
that's
there.
just studies, not statistics.
Okay, but even if that's true, that doesn't mean that religion is therefore accurate. All that says is just saying someone's happier when they believe this. Like maybe I'd be happier if I believed my dick was huge. That doesn't make my dick huge. That just means that I've deluded myself and now I'm happier for it.
There you go.
Tommy's gonna fucking eat it in the ass.
Whoa.
Damn.
What the hell? That doesn't
I
sound
don't
like
know,
what
you're
I
the
said in the video.
It sounds like it to me.
So what do you say to that, Brett? Do you have any sort of response to that argument at all, or no?
Well, there's millions of people who've talked about the changes, physical as well as mental and emotionally, that
Physical
they've had due to their
Okay,
faith.
so an appeal to popularity.
So
okay,
let me
well,
ask you
that's
this.
irrelevant
Let me
as
ask you
well.
this, Brett. Have you've embraced God as of late?
Gord.
How long have you been a Christian situation now, Brett?
A Christian situation. Let me see.
Or
It's been
Christian,
a few
God
years.
believer, or whatever.
Been a few years.
A few
years? Wait a minute.
Really? I thought you were a God believer before.
Yeah, you were a Gord believer.
Hold on.
Hold on.
I have a follow-up question. When I was a theist, I even had Jesus in the front of my intro, all that.
Right. Are
Yeah,
you
but- Pick on a label.
Are you a
What's
happier person now, Brett, because of you embraced the God believer status?
I'm
have you-
happier, but I still have my depression moments. I'm
I
a lot
see.
better off than whenever I was a non-believer. Every
Okay.
single day when I was an atheist, I wanted to eat a bullet.
Well, you know what? When you were an atheist, I remember you had teeth, and I saw videos where you actually were standing up.
Yeah. He's low energy now. He wasn't
and
back then.
you seemed like you had a lot. Yeah, you seemed like you had a fuck of a lot more energy. Now it kind of seems like you lay around in bed, you have no teeth, and it's kind of always bleak, kind of always depressed, kind of always I'm Brett Keane. So I don't really see outward evidence of this great
blessing, that's
happiness
been
and shit that's been
bestowed.
like why is that?
Why is Gord not listening?
Well, for me, I have health issues, but I have already told you emotionally, I do feel better in a lot of different ways. I do feel like it's made me better in many of this. And when I do my videos laying on a bed, that doesn't mean that I just lay there all damn day. I'm just sitting there going, honey, can you bring in the mac and cheese?
All right,
I think that's closer to the truth.
I think it kind of is that way. All right, let me ask you this, Brett. How much, just run me through the standard Brett Keane day. What is a day in the life of Brett Keane then? Because to us, to my imagination, it really is just you laying around in bed and occasionally Dorn comes in and adds some mac and cheese to the Brett feeding trough.
Goodness. If I wasn't doing this right now and didn't have the issue that I had today, me and my wife probably be watching a film or sitting out inside the deck and, have a nice conversation. May have the brother over or go over to his place and rock and roll with him a little bit.
Okay. So your normal day, if you're not doing this, is you're watching a movie or you're having a conversation or you're over at your brother's house rocking and rolling.
Or I'm doing some boring church.
Or you're going to a boring ass church.
Yes.
So that's the day-to-day life of Brett.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
So how many hours a day does that fill? Exactly. Because We know you've never had a job.
Sunday and sometimes Wednesday.
Okay.
My wife is here quite a bit, so spend a lot of time with my family. That's what dads do. That's what husbands do.
Okay, so it's mostly just...
My dad had a job that he went to almost every day.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, even my scammer situation father devoted some time to fucking work, you know? It wasn't always just like my dad was just watching movies and hanging out with us and stuff. We're like, hey guys, it's me, Dad. Like, he actually tried to make money as well.
Do you see what's happened, dude?
What's that?
We've organically gotten away from Sam Harris. Mm-hmm. And we're back in the fucking Brett Keane drama pit.
I know, because that's the only place he's comfortable bringing it to, dude.
He just radiates stupidity. And it's like we ask him, well, what do you have to say about like saying you could defeat Sam Harris? And somehow we ended up arguing with him about mac and cheese.
You know what? We're just gonna have to keep it there. I have a video. I have the leaked Palm Jam.
Go ahead and play it.
Yeah, this came out shortly after the last time we did this with Brett.
This is around the time Brett was talking to us. He's being friendly publicly.
Video.
I think
whether or not Palm.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It was Case that.
This is Case's stupid intro.
Ignoring that.
Let's actually get to the part where he plays the video.
Now.
Wow, he talks.
What a long-winded piece of shit.
It seems I may have had a theory.
Oh, I thought this was the video. Maybe it doesn't exist anymore.
I don't know.
Brett, did you flag all the videos that had it?
All the porn
I've taken out 90% of YouTube. That's me. Mm-hmm. That's a joke.
Well, we thought we had it, but all we had was fucking fake Sagan's commentary on it.
Well, that'll be interesting. You'll put me to sleep.
Yeah.
I thought he was your fucking friend and great ally.
Oh, he fucking went off on me. So.
Oh, he did. Well,
Surprising.
over what?
Such
over
a
what?
shock.
How did it all break down?
I can tell you exactly how that broke down. Two people who can't get along with anyone trying to get along with each other. That's a recipe for failure.
Well, one of the things he got pissed off about is he was claiming, and I've got a video over in VidMe where he's saying this. He said that he used to live with you, TJ. Does this sound familiar?
He did not live with me. No.
He said he was living in some place.
He stayed with me for a fucking couple of weeks while he was getting a place. Yes, that's
right.
that's the closest he's ever come to living with me.
He had claimed in front of me and some others that when he lived with you guys that he seen your computer. Huh?
Sorry, I accidentally. Yeah, I'm here. I accidentally played something for a second.
Well, he said that and you can ask him yourself. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to tell you this. But
sure.
He basically claims that he's seen some bad pictures on your computer.
Yeah, he claims I showed him child porn.
Yes, and I said to him, if this actually happened, then why didn't you call the police for it? Why would you look at somebody's computer, see that, and then not say anything about it? You continue to stay friends even afterwards. And he said, well. I was friends with them at the time and all that. And I said, you're friends, so you allow child porn according to your allegation.
Yeah.
So,
and he says
that's one reason.
And then you took that and you tried to spin it into this. I think we got the actual tape now.
Here it is.
I now present to you 4-minute Christmas.
Shut up.
It's not going to make
There we
Paul's
go.
ego too fucking happy.
Oh, here it is. Taking our head off a viper.
Cautious about getting flagged.
Man, Palm Jam is a whispery little fuck.
Don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore.
I don't care.
I'm putting this shit over in VidMe though. Have people putting all the rough shit over. You want to know what I'm uploading?
Not sure really.
I'm uploading a video where Fake Sagan is talking to me, and he says that Scotty and TJ like to try to show him child porn while he lived in their house.
Oh, maybe it was you guys.
There you go.
A bunch of other shit. So while Paul's ego and TJ decide they want to celebrate and all that, I'll go ahead and post that to him over on Twitter and say, hey, you're going to really enjoy this, guys. Check it out.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's Fake Sagan and audio sitting there saying all the horrible shit that they did in their household.
Are you for real?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's not a secret.
Yeah. and it's almost uploaded. So
It's the way you're talking about it, though, that's the interesting part.
Well, I mean, if you actually listen to this whole tape, what it breaks down is Brett Keane's plan as he's acting friendly towards fake Sagan, or whatever the fuck he goes by these days, and he's acting friendly with me and Paul. He's secretly working this fucking scheme where he's going to set us all against each other, and then he's just going to fucking destroy all his enemies by setting their houses against one another, and then he's just going to rise back to the top. Brett Keane, superstar. The stallion fucking takes his place back at the head of the fucking stable, basically.
It's very Game of Thrones.
It's like Game of Thrones if everyone on Game of Thrones was retarded.
If there was only one character on Game of Thrones and he was a rat shit bum that thought he was going to be the king, but every day he just stumbled in his own shit, wallowed around, and got fat.
No, we have hearsay almost. We have this hearsay claim that Case allegedly saw us, and not only do we watch child porn according to him, we showed him actively.
Hey, come over here and check out some child porn.
He's so full of shit. Case is the biggest fucking liar you could ever possibly meet. This guy stayed in our house as a fucking leech for a few weeks, and he got so insufferable we asked him to leave while he was trying to find another place to live. That's all that happened.
Well, I think that the guy's a complete and utter piece of trash. I'm willing to admit that it's possible that he could be lying about you guys.
Of course.
So improbable that you uploaded a video of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, I was actually
at the time
him and getting along, but it's been a long time since that video.
So what is, Brett? I hear you're a really needy friend. Like everyone I know that's been friends with you tells me,
dude,
that you have to
I will
talk
tell
to
you
them
this
in a call every night.
I will tell you this right here and right now. During that time that I was trying to be friendly with Brett, that was definitely the worst he ever was, because he was like a constant, like he just wants your attention. He just constantly wants your attention, and I've heard it from other people who've talked to him as well. Like that girl that came to our meetup recently. She said she was talking to him for a while, and it was just like a constant barrage, a constant need for other people's fucking attention and validation.
Is that true, Brett? Are you a very needy person?
Well, people got aggravated at me because whenever I opened chat rooms, I would give the links out to everybody and say, hey,
that's not the answer.
Going.
Well, sorry, would you consider yourself a needy friend, like a needy person? Do you need a lot of attention?
I don't really consider it needy whenever you're trying to let people know that you're doing a chat room.
Well, I'm not talking about that.
I'm not even talking. Yeah,
I'm talking about your interpersonal interactions with people you consider to be your friends. Do you think you demand a lot of their time?
I think that I've also admitted this and wrote posts about this. I think that I'm socially awkward.
You're socially awkward.
So
I have agoraphobia, so I'm not able to have some of the same kind of relationships someone who actually can go outside would do.
So you just think you're really bad at interacting with human beings?
Yeah, I know that about myself.
Okay. You know, I do kind of want to ask Brett about this mystery woman.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I did pull that.
That's interesting.
You know, we were kind of wondering, because there's a few videos you've done, Brett, where there was a woman with you who's not. It was back in the atheist days. There's a woman with you. Not Dawn, but still very much there. She was in a few of your videos, and then she kind of just vanished. Let's take a look.
Now, that scene...
that's Bonacy.
Bonacy.
Okay, Bonacy.
Who the fuck is Bonacy?
Bonacy is one of the people that we've actually had come visit. Basically started interacting with her as well as other people on YouTube, and obviously, because of my agoraphobia, people would come to my home as opposed to me going out places.
Right.
So this is when you wanted to put a bullet in your head every day?
Not every single day, but quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Quite a few days, though. Like, how many days out of 10?
I'll tell you what.
As an atheist, did you want to put a bullet in your head?
Well, it wasn't just the atheism. Atheism was an issue for me, but it's also agoraphobia. I mean, that puts a lot of limitations on your existence.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brett Keane, and have you ever been to a funeral, or you're getting ready to go to a funeral, or someone's died in your life where you're just standing near some person who really is into those whole primitive supernatural beliefs that Christianity or the Muslim belief teaches you, And they're sitting there and they're looking around and they're trying to
sitting there?
concoct some kind of awesome, clever, godly thing to say to you so you don't feel like puking or crawling into a corner and dying. And what they do is they look you in the eye, and there's several things that religious people will say to try to make you feel better whenever you're in a horrible situation. And before we get it...
So, shit, I look pretty damn depressed and gloomy right there.
Dude, you look 100% better here.
You look better
I'm not
there
saying
than
you
you
look
do
good,
now.
but you look better.
Brett, it's really
Way
funny
better.
how you make fun of Paul for saying situation individual when he got it from you in these early videos. You
Yeah,
don't do it
dude.
anymore, and the minute it was pointed out to you, you stopped doing it.
Do you guys want to? I mean, at some
Very
point,
strange.
at some point today, I'd like to pull up the Brett Keane dictionary or the dictionary of Keaneisms.
yeah.
And just ask him about some of these.
Yeah, we could do that. I mean, in this picture though, the whole point of this is like you're sitting on your bed,
You're sitting there
in your underwear.
Yeah,
with a girl who's looking at
That's
you
short.
like
That's not underwear.
she's like a
Into
puppy
this.
dog that just got pet for the first time,
It almost looks like something just went down. And
basking in the
mellowing out.
afterglow.
I mean, we don't know. We weren't there, but
Were you pounding that pussy, Brett?
Yeah, you tapped that,
No.
didn't you, Brett?
No.
You tapped that
Really?
shit, didn't you,
You did,
Brett?
Brett?
Cold X right there on that bed, and then we're like, want to bring one
Maybe
of my
you
videos?
and maybe you and Dawn were on the rocks a little bit. You know. No.
Dorn had moved out. She was like, I'm tired of your shit, Brett. I'm leaving. And then fucking Bonacy flies in and fucking Cold X right there on the fucking bed, dude.
Bazow.
Nope.
No.
Bazinga.
Brett and Bonacy in the bedroom with this dick.
No.
No, didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Just friends.
Just friends.
Just friends. Okay.
Wow, he's remarkably quiet right now.
Just friends.
I think Dawn is like standing over him with like a fucking sickle or some shit. She's
Hey
like,
guys,
"What?"
I often invite girls who are my friends to my bedroom, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Me too.
You
All
do
the
it
time.
too?
All the time, dude.
What about you, TJ?
Brett, where are your pants
That's
here?
where I
Yeah.
have my recording equipment.
Oh, okay.
Well, just lay on the bed, sweet thing.
This looks like he's in a fucking shack somewhere. I mean, like, I
Yeah, the
don't-
place, we ended up losing that house because it had
Oh.
a lot of issues.
That's a real shame. So is this indoors? I mean, what's wrong with this? What's with this wall behind you and all this fucking dilapidation and shit?
The whole house had big holes and shit in it. It was
Okay.
garbage.
So that's just kind of how the Keane clan lives then.
It was a shitty
Didn't
house.
have I didn't have the money to paint the walls or fix any of the
Yeah,
problems.
was it? Oh, was it when people tried to give you money, you gave them a hard time about it? Is that why you didn't have any money? I'm just wondering. Track record speaks for itself.
Say that one more time.
I was asking, is the reason why you didn't have any money because when people tried to give it to you, you gave them a hard
Well,
time?
that's a good point, Brett. Brett, why didn't you have any
Can I have a
money?
lighter?
Why didn't you have any money, Brett? That's an interesting question. What was going on at this point in your life where you couldn't? I mean, you look like you're able-bodied at this point. I mean, you're sitting down in a position where it looks like you could work. You could.
Yeah,
do
I don't
some kind
think
of work.
Brett could even sit in that position anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you say you have health problems now, but back then you didn't look like you had health problems. So were you able to work then? I mean, why have you never really worked? Brett?
I've had problems all my life.
All your life. Okay, so, well, then how do you make ends meet? Because most people have to have a job that I know of.
Yeah, I saw in a recent post actually, Brett, that you once again blamed me for you losing your YouTube channel because I said that you dealt drugs.
No, I didn't lose the YouTube channel due to it. I had child services come to my home.
Right. So but you said later in that same paragraph that I also
Someone
caused you
who
to lose
was
your YouTube
watching
channel.
your video, it was like a Q&A where you were answering people's questions. Somebody asked you, they said, "Bro, what do you think Brett does for a living?" And you said, "Oh," and I put it clear when I wrote this out that you were joking. You said, you might be selling drugs, doing something of that. And
Right.
somebody who was watching the video called up. Cops came out, had Division of Family
Evidence.
Services.
I mean, that seems kind of remarkable to me, Brett,
Yeah.
because
Did they leave the notice that they were going to come by with a dagger in the door?
most fucking police are not going to take seriously, like, hey, someone on the internet jokingly said that maybe this guy sells drugs, so let's go check
But
him
I
out.
mean, even if that was to happen, I mean,
Well,
Brett, don't
if
don't
you
you
have
bet there's a-
children and someone thinks that there's some kind of problem, yeah, they're going to call.
Okay, but do you have any evidence that actually occurred?
The allegation wasn't that you were abusing children, though.
It was that he was dealing drugs.
So why would
Drugs in
child
a
services
household or
come?
Whatever.
Why wouldn't the
that was
cops
their
come to
concern.
see if you're selling drugs?
So-
what the fuck does child services have to do with
Let me
it?
just ask this, Brett. How is it that it seems like you're always living in squalor, and yet you always have a nice new gaming computer capable of running all the newest games?
Yeah, and you say you don't work because you have health problems. So how do you pay for those things? I mean, it's a logical question.
Like, where does this come from?
Well, I'm poor, but not so poor I can't afford a couple things.
Okay.
You save up money and you're able to get things.
But
I'm just
to
wondering.
save up money, you have to have income.
I'm just wondering why the things that you saved up money for. First of all, what money from where is a good question. Also, but also like
He has a job.
why were the things that you saved up for like a new gaming PC and shit? How come it's not like let's fix up the house a little bit?
Well, we have.
Okay. How?
But this specific house you're looking at right now,
Right.
I don't no longer live there anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, this is pretty similar. I mean, like we've seen videos of you recently. It doesn't look like you're living anywhere fucking massively better than this. You're still kind of living in the same.
It's not much greater, that's for sure, but it isn't falling down either.
So let me ask you: like, you have agoraphobia, so you can't leave. I mean, you can leave your house. You have a fucking
Certain
vehicle
places,
and shit.
yeah.
So, explain your agoraphobia to me then, because most people who have agoraphobia cannot leave their house at all.
Yeah,
But-
there's a lot of people that get trapped. It got worse over the years for me. Whenever I was younger, I was able to go out a lot of different places. Hell, I could even drive out on the highway. But it got worse to the point where now if I go near a highway or like an open field of any nature, unless there's like some poles or trees or something that's stable, I don't know how to explain it, but it helps on a psychological level if you've got things that are.
Well, how
open
close do you have to
and
be to something like that for that to work? 5 feet, 10 feet, 1 feet, like what? Like 1
just
foot.
long
like,
enough to where I can convince myself that if I have an anxiety attack, I would be able to move to it as quickly as possible, as fast
Okay.
as the manatee can go. Yeah.
Shit.
What the
Well, I
fuck?
figured
so
somebody would say it.
open fields, like an open field, like near you would terrify you.
Unless if it's a completely open field, if it's got fences or like poles or something like that, I could stand there for a while.
All right, I want to pull up the dictionary of Keaneisms here. I want to ask you about some verbal peculiarities that you kind of exhibit. And this is something those little bastards over at the wiki.
Yeah, that
created.
dastardly DP wiki.
I think that's it. Let's take a little look. Yeah, overused. Let's make the font a little bigger on this.
Yeah.
So we have here overused words and phrases. So here's some things that apparently you say too much, Brett. Attack my family, which that definitely is you. You say as well as
Christians as well as atheists as well as pagans as
Yeah.
well as
instead of
Jews.
and.
So you could say like, yeah.
Why? What is with the as well as?
What's
thing?
the Why is it Christian? Why can't you say Christians and Muslims and pagans?
I mean, you don't even need to say and between those. You could
well
say
as.
Christians, Muslims, pagans, and Jews.
Yeah.
But he says Christians as well as pagans, as well as Muslims, as well as Jews. Every time. Every time you've ever
Country
said it.
accent, I suppose, the Missouri slang.
So that's you're claiming as well as is a Missouri thing.
We all have our favorite words and ways that we construct things.
Okay.
Next one is check out.
Whatever.
Yeah,
he
yeah, that's
constantly
whatever.
says check out every fuck. Yeah,
Come
check out.
on.
Check out my gaming channel, games you love, and all that.
Come on. Yeah.
Orn, yeah. We've already kind of grilled him on that
Christians,
shit.
Muslims, pagans, Jews.
Yeah. Why is it always in that order? Christians, Muslims, pagans, Jews.
Well, I think one of the issues that happens with me, I know a lot of people on YouTube, they write down their ideas and their thoughts. Me, I just hit record and I say my piece or whatever my thoughts are. Don't really spend a whole lot of time going, gee, how can I say this without getting my ass?
Yeah, because I'll
you
tell
don't
you
do
what.
research.
If I was making a video, if I was making a video and I said, Zeo de Dawn. If I said the rind of Zeo de Dawn, that video would never ever be fucking published to YouTube.
Look, TJ, there's
Maybe
always,
maybe
there's
you would.
always a reason or an explanation. You just don't want to hear the reason.
All right,
It's like Donald Trump.
The
basically.
commonly used stuff is not as interesting if you go down a bit and look at the words that just don't even exist.
Well, guys,
okay, so
before I continue, and I'm more than happy to do that, can you guys make sure that you take this thing off of hold? That you, I keep getting this pop-up saying that you got it on hold on PayPal.
All right.
I mean, I'm going to sit here through the whole thing, and as long as you guys want to have
All right,
me.
well, we're working on that, but let me just grill you on some of these while we're waiting for that to go through. All right, so instead of I don't even care about the bean thing because whatever, we could just attribute that to accent. But the fact that you call
what is the Muslim holy book, Brett?
Yeah,
the Quran.
Okay, you've improved. That's better.
Very good.
Very good because you used to say the Quran.
Yeah, the Quran.
Yeah.
So you've gotten better at that. You say you apparently say the word contradict often as counterdict.
Yeah.
Can you say contradict for me or no?
Contradict.
Good. All right.
Counterdict. Wow, he's improving.
So apparently you also for the word double-edged sword, which apparently you don't even understand the meaning of anyway. You call it a double-add sore.
Double-add.
That's what it said.
Double-add sword.
If it's here, that means that it's been observed.
Words. I don't remember screwing up that one.
What about sword? Oh, Brett, one of my favorite words from you is duplicious, dude. Duplicious is the fucking best fucking word.
If Brett ever made a rap album, that would be what it would be called.
Dude, yeah, please. If you ever
Paul's
become
word?
a rapper. Oh, that's a Paul word?
No,
it's not.
absolutely
No,
not.
it's
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, buddy.
Duplicious, dude.
Duplicious, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Say Kenthoven for me.
Kenthoven.
Okay,
All right.
you're pretty close.
close.
Hoven.
Because for a while you were saying Hovine. I feel like Brett, we're helping you out here.
Yeah.
We're helping you out slowly but surely.
Is
You're learning
Quander
how to.
on here? Yeah, it is.
Quander is definitely on there.
Wander those.
What about literally?
That's a real word though. That's often used.
But he says it literally.
Oh, he means it
with a
figuratively.
D. He says it like with a D sound.
I hear him use literally a lot when he actually means figuratively.
Pawn. Oh, that's another thing, Brett. Let me just help you out with this one too.
All right.
The people who are on your Patreon are not called Patreons. They're called patrons.
Patrons of the art.
Yeah, the website is Patreon.
The website is called Patreon, but the people who actually give to you are called patrons. They are not called Patreons.
Also, what's mind quoting?
Yeah, I love that one. Mind quoting.
Mind quoting.
Do you understand what's wrong with mind quoting, Brett?
It's kind of like what you guys are doing right now.
It's kind of like okay, but do you understand what's wrong with mind quoting as a term, though? Do you know why that's wrong?
Pronunciation?
No.
Okay, it's the actual term is quote mining. As in, we're mining for juicy quotes that, if we use this quote out of context, it'll sound like this.
Yeah.
So you have a good understanding of what quote mining is.
At least so he it seems like he maybe kind of understands that.
But you just didn't know it wasn't mind quoting.
Another thing you said, Muslimic turbine.
Yeah, wearing a
Apparently you said that in your debate with Straight Dope in 2011.
Yep.
You called... it's an Islamic turban, which is... They don't even wear turbans, I don't think. I think they wear...
I also called it ninja suits and mummy wraps.
Okay.
A turbine.
Okay.
Old-timers disease. Unironically, talking about Alzheimer's, Brett has called it old-timers disease.
Old-timers.
Which I've heard children do.
Yeah.
He's got the lung.
One of my favorites is working on all cinder blocks, which is like I think would be a good title for a Brett Keane biography.
He's trying to say firing on all cylinders, but he says working on all cinder blocks, dude. It's working on all.
What a thing of beauty.
As the wiki points out, this is stroke victim levels of retardation.
Yeah.
Website. And of course Zao Dadong is
Zao
there.
Dadong, we covered that. He was
We've
just
already
joking.
talked. Slander and liability, self-depreciating humor.
The humor's going down in value.
There you go. Here's some grammatical errors. A diploma mills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that diploma mills is plural. So my dad ran a diploma mill, Brett. Not a diploma mills, a diploma mill.
As
if he ran,
the I seen thing is a big one for him.
I seen this. Yeah, Brett. Even in your writing, I've noticed that you rely on the word "seen" in weird ways.
And then Detective Resner seen Golgothica appear in a puff of red fire.
Stalker gas.
Stalker seen the gun laying on the table. He seen a way to get to it.
I'm sorry if we're being insultive right now, Brett.
Yeah.
So a lot of these you actually have gotten better on. So do you feel like maybe us insulting the piss out of you has maybe improved your grammar situation a little better?
We are educational for you.
See, I think we've educated you more than you're letting on, Brett, because some of these you've improved on.
You know, going back to that...
I never figured anybody would give a shit about the way I talk.
Really?
Oh, why not?
Why would they?
Because you've
you make
spent
so
the
many
last
errors.
15 years of your life trying to be a person who makes money from talking. I mean,
but I've made it clear in my videos. I'm not a professional. I'm
right.
That doesn't
just a
matter.
guy who hits record and runs his damn mouth.
But I mean, like, if you can't effectively use language, then how do you expect to convey ideas?
That's a
fine
in
question.
a useful
You guys
way.
understand what I'm talking about when I speak?
Not always.
Occasionally we do. Sometimes it really does get to the point of being so fucking backwards and weird that it just doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense. But
what I thought was interesting, though, in this conversation, Brett, is did you kind of agreed to some point to evolution, because we showed you Neanderthal, the variants, and you said that, oh, you learned something new every day. This is educational. But shouldn't you, as a creationist, not believe that at all and think that's total nonsense? Because you were designed, right, in your opinion?
I do believe that. Charles Darwin also believed that there was a higher intelligence behind evolution.
So what? Darwin was wrong about a lot of things.
This is actually good because, I pulled some evolution shit.
Yeah, Darwin had no idea about DNA.
I'm not like G-Man or one of these guys out here like Kent.
All right, so hold on. No. We have here a video about evolution.
Yeah, let's get.
It's a very basic video.
This is a very basic video about evolution. Let's just talk about evolution for a little bit, because it's interesting. You're a creationist now, Brett, right? You believe in creation.
I believe there was an intelligence behind it. Yeah.
Do you believe in evolution?
Hold on. No. Before we fucking even get it, let's.
Were you created by God, as you believe it?
I mean,
I believe that.
So
God
are you?
did, yes.
Are you a theistic evolutionist, or do you believe in outright creationism? So let's just peg that down.
I still question evolution, but if it turned out that it was the case, I wouldn't have the issue.
But right now, you don't believe in evolution.
I believe that there's some issues I have.
Well, do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in the scriptures?
I believe that some of it is symbolic, some of it is actual.
Well, how do you know the difference?
So yeah.
So you,
all right. So
let's
get to the story of Adam and Eve then. So Adam and Eve, is that a symbolic story, or is that were there a real Adam and Eve and the Cain and Abel and all that stuff? Was that literal or was that symbolic, or do you not know?
I've been kind of back and forth on that.
Okay, so answer it now. Where are you at on it now?
As of now, where are you leaning?
Well, for me, it makes more sense on the origin than what they're giving out nowadays.
So you believe the Bible has good moral lessons in it, right? So we shouldn't take it literally.
It's got some bad stuff in it as well.
But I'm asking you. So Brett, you can't just disown parts of the book you don't like and parts that you do like. You can't just say,
I'm not saying that I deny it. I'm saying that there actually is bad stuff. There's things in there that
of course there's bad things in it.
All right, well, let's take a look at evolution here. This is a video called "What is Evolution?" And you just tell me when you start noticing shit you disagree with.
This episode of Stated Clearly was made possible
let me know.
through generous donations by Bird and Moon Comics, Proof Avenue,
Scammer
and contributions
situations
from individual viewers like you.
Individual.
Stated Clearly presents.
Okay.
What exactly is evolution?
All right. Here we go.
In biology, The theory of evolution doesn't tell us exactly how life began on Earth, but it helps us understand how life, once it came into existence, diversified into the many incredible forms we see now and in the fossil record. It also helps us make sense of the way in which modern creatures continue to adapt and change today. In biology, evolution can be defined as any change in the heritable traits, those are physical traits like fur color in mice, spots on the wings of butterflies.
So do you see? Okay, so this is evolution.
Adaptation, I got no issue with.
Any objections so
changes in the
far?
color and the
Evolution?
fur, that's not a problem. It's
Here you
whenever
have-
they claim that we evolved from rats and fish and all that
You
shit.
didn't evolve from a rat. You shared a common ancestor with a rat. You didn't
Well,
evolve
there-
directly
there's
from
a
anything.
science
Well, I don't know. He
website.
might have evolved from a rat.
Science websites say that we did.
Okay,
Here,
let's-
What sites? What sites say that you evolved from a rat, Brett?
Here we go.
Or instinctive
Let's take a look.
behaviors like the way that dogs greet their friends with a sniff within a population across generations. This definition can be a bit confusing, so let's see how it works.
All right.
All healthy living things, from single-celled amoebas to flowers
Here
to
you go.
dolphins, are capable of reproduction. We have children, we make copies of ourselves. We do this by duplicating our DNA and passing that DNA on to future generations. DNA is a chain-like chemical stored inside each one of your cells, which tells them how to grow and function. Your DNA contains coded information on how to build you. The information in your DNA is different than that of,
Brett
say,
just learned about
a
DNA
daffodil's DNA.
today.
Yeah, we taught him about that a little earlier.
See, we
Which
are
is why you look
educational.
and function differently than a daffodil. The information in your DNA is slightly different than that of Elvis Presley, which is one of many reasons you don't look or act quite like he did.
Darn.
Single-celled amoebas and other simple creatures reproduce by copying their DNA inside their guts, moving both copies to either side of their body, splitting in two right down the middle, and then growing back to full size. If all goes well, the two new amoebas will be exact copies of each other, but in nature, things aren't always perfect.
So, do you understand the basic concept of like evolution being that over time, over immense amounts of time,
right,
billions of years, that a single, organism can diversify in many different ways based on environment and migration and shit, that it takes an insane amount of time because in your videos when you talk about evolution, you're like, you want to tell me my granddaddy was a fish. And it's just like, do you understand that it doesn't work like that? It doesn't just, like a dog doesn't just spontaneously become a monkey, and the rat-like ancestor that we share with modern rats didn't just spontaneously become a human and a rat. That it took, millions and sometimes billions of years for these things to change.
Yeah, the claim is billions of years, sure.
Sure.
Right.
So you don't believe in that there are billions of years.
All right, so hold on. Let me just take you through the process here. So all life forms we replicate through copying, or with sexual reproduction, we replicate a copy that's an amalgam of two, parents.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes in that copy, it's imperfect and there's a mutation. And sometimes that mutation is harmful, in which case it dies off.
In fact, most times it is.
Sometimes it's totally benign and it doesn't do shit. And sometimes it actually bestows some sort of benefit. So over time, the benefits, they fucking cascade and shit. They keep going progressing through the generation, because if a trait benefits you, you're more likely to survive, you're more likely to pass that on, and it spreads to the whole population. And then what was once a mutation all of a sudden is just a trait of an entire population of a species. So where in that do you say bullshit, that's not how it works? Where in that do you say I don't believe it for a fucking second? What's your fucking criticism?
It's not a matter of being completely against it. However,
okay.
Do you believe that the first organism that came into existence already had reproduction value, or did it evolve it later?
Well, obviously, it's not life until it can reproduce. That's one of the criterias of being a living thing is the ability to reproduce.
The first living thing was probably a tiny, very, very
We're talking
simple,
about
single-celled organism.
Yeah, we're talking about a very primitive cell.
About even a single organism, it's like a library of encyclopedia books. There's so much information and coding there. So are you
Right.
stating that you believe that the first organism actually had the ability to reproduce right off the bat, as soon as it came alive?
It wouldn't be an organism without that.
It would not.
It had to have
it
that
could not
ability.
be an organism if it didn't have the ability to self-replicate. That's
Yes.
It could self-replicate.
That's the
So
definition.
how did the information get produced into it to work like an engine?
To work like an engine?
That's exactly what it's doing. This, what you showed me
Engines
is,
are, as far as I know,
describing
engines
of
don't
information.
self-replicate.
It's laying down blueprints
Uh-huh.
of our bodies,
Right.
creating these children and all this in our offspring.
Right. DNA is a blueprint. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I got you
Right.
there.
So you believe that the reproduction existed in the first living organism, or did it
Yes.
It
evolve?
had to,
Yes.
or it wouldn't have been a living
all,
organism.
all life, Brett, is based on that life. So yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my
That's-
questions lie. Where does the information
Abiogenesis.
actually get
Yeah.
into the
Okay, but
organism?
I mean, this video started off by letting you know that evolution does not even.
Yeah, it does not.
It
tackle
doesn't
that.
try and answer that question.
It doesn't even try to address where the first life came from. It's talking about how life got diversified from that initial life. How we went from that primitive self-replicating cell to the biodiversity that we see on the planet today. That's what evolution is all about.
Well, that's where I'm at, is the origin into evolution issue.
Okay.
The origin,
So
okay,
origin
so
into
you're
evolution
talking
issue.
About what the first creature
Yeah,
ever
a
was.
first cause.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What
Yes.
the so
are
you think that
convinced that we
Gord?
started through spontaneous generation?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know how the first life.
Yeah.
No
Science
scientist
doesn't make that claim,
Yeah,
Brett.
science has yet to find out how the first life
I mean, we
ended
have-
up on this planet. There are different.
We have
with
good
theories.
ideas.
Yeah, there are different theories.
And I mean, look, the first life form was more primitive than any single-celled organism that exists today.
Oh yeah.
We're talking
It had to have
about
been.
we're talking about almost like a proto-cell. So whatever, but that's not evolution though. Evolution addresses how we got from that to where we are now.
Yeah, I understand that.
No, you don't, because earlier you said, "Well, you think you came from a rat or something." So you obviously don't understand that.
No, it actually says this right on the science site that I
Okay.
posted in the links.
Post in the
Well,
links.
if that site says that site is wrong, because
Let's take a look.
If you look at the theory of evolution,
Let's take a look
that's
at what he's
not
got.
it states.
One of them, I gave you a list of sites here.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at the site here.
Which one?
Which one is this? I guess the first one. We descended. The one that says we descended from rats.
Sure.
Well, this is a newspaper.
Evolutionary evidence suggests we descended from rats. Okay.
Okay.
So, first of all, this is
Look
the
at this, how it
This is
says-
not a scientific journal.
I like how it says before we were monkeys.
Before we were monkeys,
Yeah. So
lower legal drinking ages encourage more binge drinking. Blah, blah,
this
blah.
doesn't contravene what we said at all.
All right, so let's go down. Let's scroll down and see what this article is saying here. Ancient rats may be among our ancestors. Okay.
Okay.
Creationists bothered by the thought of humans descending from apes won't like this one bit. After a 6-year study of the mammal family tree, scientists now believe that many mammalian species, people included, originated with a tiny rat-like creature that crawled the earth tens of millions of years ago. Okay, so with what I just explained to you about evolution, what's your problem with this?
You don't have issue with thinking that you descended from a rat?
Why?
Because that's fucking stupid.
Why is it stupid?
Well, Brett, in your own DNA, you have viruses and bacteria.
I mean, all life. I'm saying that we all descended from
Ever heard of retroviral
a
DNA?
single-celled fucking organism that emerged on this planet like 5 billion years ago.
Just a moment ago, you guys sounded as if you didn't even know that they claimed that we came from rats.
It says that we share a rat-like ancestor with
they
all
don't
mammals.
even seem like they know themselves. It says it suggests or it could be.
Yeah.
Might be. They don't even know.
Yeah.
Because they're studying shit.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
science doesn't always
Oh
deal
my
with the
God.
absolutes, you know.
So look,
we got a
what they're
time
saying,
travel
what this
machine,
article is
go back
saying,
to
what this
grandpa
article
with
is
the
saying is that
rabbit.
all mammals. What this article is saying is that
personal experience is not also a good argument, Brett.
the first mammal may have been a rat-like creature.
That's what they're saying.
That's what this article is saying. So what is, other than you just emotionally not liking that, what is your criticism of it?
Well, I'm the type of person that whenever I go and I look at claims like this by science or even theology, I tend to question.
Okay,
They are
but
claiming
what
that we
question
what
don't
is the
have
what,
goddamn
what is the
rat
fucking
or
question
that
then?
fish.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And the problem is
I'm trying to figure out what the actual scientific basis
He doesn't have
basis
one.
in fact is for your problem
This
with
is
this.
his bullshit argument.
I don't see any evidence that we came from rats.
You don't see the evidence.
You don't see the evidence.
Why don't you look at the
They
study?
don't see it either. They're claiming maybe. They're suggesting it.
Okay, well,
You're saying you're saying these scientists made this statement without any evidence.
So
That's
you just
what
says
they're saying.
fossils.
When you
Brett,
say,
Brett, so,
I-
Brett, okay,
can
so
you
listen.
suggesting
The fossils.
that
Here we go.
might be the case.
Fossils.
Might be the case. That doesn't,
Fossils
that doesn't sound
of
like scientific fact.
this
to me.
Latin word that I'm not going to try to pronounce look like the best ancestor
Well, why not?
candidate for the
It's funny hearing
mammalian for the
people
mammal
screw up on
family
words,
tree extending back 66 million years, and they preserve evidence that the creatures weighed around 8 ounces, had a long fuzzy tail, and ate bugs. So they have evidence in the fossil record. I'm sure they probably have some genetic evidence as well. You've not looked. I mean, like, Brett, are you going to claim for a second that you have looked at the evidence for this, or that you would even understand it if you did look at it?
Look at the person who led the project, the anatomist that led the project. The findings were not a total surprise, but it's important. It's an important discovery because it relies on lots of information from fossils and molecular data. So
have you looked at the fossil data and the molecular data before you said no?
With that evidence, Brett?
Is this your first time looking at this page?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you're
You
just
sent
gonna,
this
on
to
faith,
us.
just say, "Yep, I accept it. I'm a rat."
Okay, no,
That doesn't mean
it
that
doesn't.
we're rats.
It doesn't mean that you are a rat, Brett.
You don't understand.
so
I mean,
retarded.
in your case, yes, but that
Aren't you
doesn't.
guys supposed to be the
I'm
skeptics?
asking you a question, Brett. It said the person who led the study says from fossils and molecular data. So what issue do you have with that evidence?
Yeah, what is the actual problem with the evidence, Brett?
Well, I've taken a look trying to see what these creatures are they're talking about, and all they got is cartoons and animation shit.
Well, what are they supposed to have? Video of a
They
fucking
don't exist
extinct
anymore.
animal
Because
from
it's
66
supposedly
million years
extinct.
ago?
It was a dead rodent they found a long time ago, and they said,
Uh-huh.
well, that's
It's a
grandpa.
fossil.
So they found a fossil.
That's grandpa. Yeah, Brett. 66 million years ago, before humans even existed, that was your grandpa.
I mean, maybe it is your great,
So
great extreme amount of greats, grandpa. Yeah, but who gives a shit?
You're
What's
great
your
to the
problem with
trillion.
that?
I do. I want to be able to understand the origin of all this. And
No,
what
you
the
don't wanna
existence of
understand.
Mankind did.
Well, these people actually want to understand the origin, Brett. You just want to fucking play a semantical and basically equivocate on what these words mean. And you have not presented one question of the evidence of this study. You just say, okay, well, look, this is what they say, but I quite question that. But where's your evidence that something's wrong with this?
The only evidence he's really brought up at all, and it's not evidence at all, but the only argument I'm really getting from him is he doesn't like it, so it can't be true.
Yep.
No, there's things I don't like about theology, but I'm willing to accept it if information's given forward. And
Yeah,
same
here's
with
information.
my
This is the same
death,
guy
where
that,
found a
I
dead
like parts of
body
the
out
Bible,
somewhere, and that's what,
but
you know,
there's
the
bad parts in the
ancestor was.
Bible.
Yeah.
So, Brett, let me ask you this about the Bible, because you say that there's bad stuff and good stuff, and some of it is, some of them are parables, and some of this is true. But how do you know? How do you know? How do you discern
I know by
all
some
these
of the
things?
things that have actually changed in my life. Also, being able to hear
So
the
personal
claims of
experience
others
claim.
and seeing the improvements in their existence.
So, but that's not evidence, Brett. You're saying you
So,
deny
hold
this
on.
evidence, but personal experience is good enough for you.
Let's just see. Let's boil this down. His evidence against evolution is he doesn't
No.
like it. His evidence for God
I didn't
is
say
it
that
made me
this was
it makes me feel
evidence
good
against.
inside.
I'm saying there is no evidence for this claim right here that we're talking about.
Right.
How is
no, this
that
claim right here
wrong?
doesn't make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, so ergo you don't like it.
That's incorrect.
and the
Brett.
thought of having God watching out for you and answering your prayers does make you feel good.
That's a total aside. Well, that's a total aside. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, Brett is so fucking dumb.
You haven't looked at any of the fucking look. It says here that there's fossil evidence and there's molecular evidence that you have not even looked at. You're
Okay, what is
basically
the fossil?
I don't know, Brett. Maybe you should look it up.
It looks like we're both in the same boat then.
If you're that fucking no, we're not.
I just told you when I looked, they got cartoons and animation and shit. And you said, well, of course not.
What, do you
'cause
want to
they're
see the
extinct.
actual
Terrifying.
fossils, Brett?
All right, so
go to a natural history museum and look at fossils. There's plenty of them there. The
So-
fossil record is clear.
So even if
Okay,
they,
what museum would I go to find
He won't
human
go anywhere.
ancestry as rats?
it wouldn't matter because you're too agoraphobic to get your ass
I
there
would
any
have to.
fucking
I would
way.
have to find the one, but
That's
it looks
true.
like
I
it'd
could send Scotty up there.
All right, why don't we why don't we fucking get, why don't we put you in contact with Maureen A. O'Leary, and she can fucking write to you and tell you all about this stuff.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll get her in touch with
Or you can just do a simple Google search and
there you go.
Inform yourself.
No, that's not going to
Oh,
work.
it's an animation, and the animation is not true.
So let's I don't even know.
Yeah, Ben's gonna try and find a fossil of this mammal for Brett.
There you go. Let's pull up the fossil for him.
There's probably a fucking image of it.
I had an atheist once give me a Bigfoot.
There we
site
go.
when he was
There it
trying
is.
to prove Neanderthal.
There you go.
There's the fossil.
There it is.
That's the rat.
Yeah, that's the rat-like ancestor. One of the first.
It's not a rat,
if
though.
not the first mammal. Yeah, it's not a rat.
What's the website called?
What's the website called?
Yeah, so I can look into it myself.
The New York Times. That's from
That
a New
is
York
from a
Times.
New York Times article.
New York Times? Let me take a look.
Yeah. Sorry, Brett.
It's all good. New York Times human rats. Let's take a
my
look.
God. Human rats?
Oh my God, he's
What?
a fucking
Are you Googling
retard.
yourself, Brett? Are you Googling yourself?
This is.
Human
Dude,
rat.
we have to remember this is the dude that sent us that fucking that fucking counter contract in crayon signed in MS
Can
Paint.
you, can
The
you
drunken peasants can't say.
Dude, what the
Can you
fuck?
give me the link to the page?
Yeah.
It's right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there on the fucking
How much?
screen.
Copy the link and then
Okay,
post
here you
into
go.
the Skype.
Here it is. Here it is. It's a
Hold
New York
on.
Times article.
There.
Here you go. We're sending it to you on the fucking page. There you go.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
All right, let's change gears here. We have Richard Dawkins. He's going to provide his best argument against religion, and you give your best counter argument.
All right.
It's right up there.
That sounds like fun.
No, it's up more. Up. There it is. All right, so this could be Richard Dawkins.
Religion is part of a complex of supernatural beliefs that are founded on lack of evidence, astrology, homeopathy, all sorts of things like that. And it could be said that some of these are harmless. I don't think it's harmless. There is something insidious about training children to believe things for which there's no evidence. And so an uncritical, kind of too open-minded, so open-minded your brains fall out attitude is a great pity because it means you miss such a lot. And merely to say that religion is harmless isn't good enough.
Well, you said in a speech
So that's a
famously.
good.
All right, so I actually have kind of a question to bounce off of that because he mentions the upbringing of children into religion. I find it really fucking bizarre that, Brett, you were an atheist and your whole family, when you were an atheist, was atheists. And then you found religion,
My wife
and then
was more
all of them
agnostic.
found religion. Okay, so your wife was more agnostic. But I remember you making videos as an atheist where you had your kids and you were mocking religion, with your kids and shit.
Yeah.
So are your kids now also religious? Did the whole family just say, all right, we all just flipped a switch in our minds simultaneously, all fucking four of us, boom, we believe in God now? How did that work? Did you just go to your family one day and say, hey, guys, we're all Christians now?
Remained a hardcore skeptic for quite a while there. And he went exploring the internet to look into more atheist information, find out more about the views, I guess, to strengthen his foundation or his view. And he actually looked into a lot of what non-believers were doing to his father. And that helped him become more open that there's a problem.
Oh,
so yeah, he's definitely more open-minded about what I'm talking about
So
now.
personal attacks on you equate to problems with an atheistic worldview.
Well, of course. Like we see all these rioting going on out in the street. If people see
How's
that
that
folks
tied
are
to
like
atheism?
that, they're going to think
Where's
they're
the correlation?
fucking stupid or something. That there's something wrong with people like that.
Okay.
I don't see any sort of connection.
All right, well, that answers
do.
just the level of gibberish
Well,
I'd expect. But okay, hold on. Let's take a look at some
Okay.
more of this Dawkins argument, because this is Dawkins making
That
his
I think
case.
a case can be made that faith is one of the world's great
I see
evils,
this one.
comparable to the smallpox virus, but harder to eradicate.
I do think that, yes. Because what I'm talking about there is faith, where faith means belief in something without evidence. Because if you believe something without evidence, then that justifies anything. You're no longer vulnerable to somebody coming back at you and saying, hang on a minute, let me argue the case. If you believe it without evidence, which is what faith is, then you don't argue the case. You say, no, I'm not arguing that case. This is my faith. It's mine. It's private. I don't dissent from it. I don't retreat from it. You're just going to have to accept it. Now, that is evil. For myself...
So what do you think about that?
Well, I posted something on your on Skype for you.
Okay. Why are you not listening to what's going on and spending
Because I've
time
actually
sending us
heard that
stupid
video
fuck links?
before by him. I prefer the
Okay.
ones with John Lennox and Richard Dawkins.
Okay.
Right.
I don't give two fucking fucks in a shit what you prefer. What do you think of what he just said?
What I think about Richard Dawkins is he insults his own maker, basically, by saying these things. Charles Darwin himself believed in a god.
No, he
and
didn't.
that is who he's doing a lot
He
of
actually
his
didn't.
studies.
No,
he didn't.
I'm sorry, Charles
Well, there's
Darwin
the
did not
quote
believe in a
right
god.
there
And if he does, it
from the
doesn't
book,
matter.
Descent of Man.
And also,
Right
his
there, Descent of
Charles
Man.
Darwin's personal beliefs are not even material, and he didn't. I know for a fact he did not believe in a god. He died not believing in a god. He knew that his theory fucking basically usurped and supplanted God.
But Brett Keane read it on some Christian apologetics
No, this
website,
is
so it
the
must be
book,
true.
Descent of Man, right here. I posted it for you.
Okay.
You've made videos in the past debunking the fact that Darwin was a fucking God believer on his deathbed. You're so
I've heard
fucking
people make
stupid.
claims and I've discussed
All right,
it,
all right, all right. So hold on. I'm gonna play more of this since you obviously weren't listening last time. I'm gonna play another clip of this Dawkins video. I want you to do me a favor and actually fucking listen.
Basically saying religious people are delusional and stupid.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I want you to listen to what he specifically says in the clip I'm about to play, and then you respond directly to that. Okay?
As a scientist, I'm accustomed to saying that the thing that I really object to about religion is that it teaches us to be satisfied with not understanding, teaches us to be satisfied with pseudo-explanations which are really not explanations at all, things that sound good.
Is that what
Things
you want me
that
to
sound
respond?
like an explanation,
Hold
but
on.
which really aren't, which appeal to the emotions but don't actually explain anything. So I think that religion in that sense can be the enemy of science, the enemy of truth. But this evening I'm reflecting more that what may really be the enemy of truth and the enemy of science is willful obscurantism.
Oh my God, Brett, that
Yeah.
just fucking sums your ass up, dude.
Yep.
Willful obscurantism.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, you guys
That's
want
it,
me to
buddy.
respond to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Of course. Go ahead.
for it.
All right, let's.
Have
I
fun.
mean, the facts are that science wouldn't even exist or the word if it wasn't for theists. Hold on a
Mhm.
second.
Yeah,
No, go ahead.
go ahead.
What the fuck?
What happened? Did he
Sorry,
die?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Some music was about to blast over the Internet Explorer. I didn't want it to do a copyright on you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank
Sorry.
you so much.
All right, so you guys know who Max Planck is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is not responding to what Dawkins
It's
just
not,
said.
but
I am
go-
going to
I-
respond.
go ahead.
He basically
All right.
says the people who are theists are satisfied with just whatever the Bible says and don't go any further.
Yeah.
80 to 90% of scientists throughout time who devoted their time to all the fields of it were religious.
Okay, well, if you look at that historical context, people weren't really free for a long time to deviate from religion.
Not only
you
that,
know?
but that was true across the population.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's
also
why I brought up Max Planck. Max Planck actually
Okay.
lived in our century, and he
Yeah.
is the one that came up with quantum theory.
All right, I don't think Dawkins is saying that there can be no one who is a genuine scientist could possibly be also religious, because, I mean, I understand there are scientists who are religious.
Yeah, sure.
But what he's saying, he's making a larger point about how religion itself is not scientific.
Well, also
Anybody who fucking is a
Are
scientist
we talking
and is
about modern
religious has to
science?
compartmentalize the two.
Because I mean, look,
Well,
there
the
was
point is that scientists, especially religious one, they're obviously not satisfied with just reading the text and literature of the Bible. They go out, they experiment, they do what they can, they look into it mathematically. John Lennox, perfect example, and he's alive today.
But what many of those people also say too is if there's a contradiction between those, scripture and science, they have to go with the Bible. They have to go with scripture. They have to say, well, my worldview ultimately is informed by what I believe. And also,
There
Brett,
are some people like that, but Kenneth Miller, who's alive today, he's a Roman Catholic. He teaches evolution in a university.
Catholics actually acknowledge evolution as fact.
Yeah.
So you would disagree with him too? Why? I don't know why you bring
I
him
would
up as
wanna
a
But the
pro.
earliest
Not on the same
mathematicians and
type of basis,
scientists
Richmond.
came before Christianity even existed as a religion.
I'm not a scientist. I am a layman, which I have admitted over and over. I would love
That's
to be
fine.
able to
Everyone understands that, Brad. Everyone understands your level of knowledge.
Yeah, we're all laymen.
Yeah, he wasn't. Dawkins wasn't making like a super scientific, high-minded argument here. It was a pretty basic argument against why religion can damage the search for truth. And your response has been to talk about Max Planck being a Christian.
The response is to show that what he is saying is nonsense. There's a lot of religious people out there who are involved in science who are not just satisfied and dumb themselves down. Very intelligent people.
All right.
Whether it comes from religion or not.
All right, here's another point.
My question is for Professor Dawkins. Considering that atheism cannot possibly have any sense of absolute morality, would it not then be an irrational leap of faith, which atheists themselves so harshly condemn, for an atheist to decide between right and wrong?
Absolute morality, the absolute morality that a religious person might profess would include what? Stoning people for adultery? Death for apostasy? Punishment for breaking the Sabbath? These are all things which are religiously based absolute moralities. I don't think I want an absolute morality. I think I want a morality that is thought out, reasoned, argued, discussed, and based upon, I could almost say, intelligent design.
All right, Brett. So you wanted to argue. You wanted to argue about. I'm sure you've seen it. You wanted to argue
that one
about
right there. He actually got himself into trouble if you watch further into it.
Oh, really?
When he was asked by a, I believe that there's a priest sitting. If that's the one, yeah, there's a priest who actually asked him, how did he actually think things got here? And he basically fumbled all over the place and said, well, it's obvious something had to have started it all.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with the subject of morality.
Right.
That was just raised. And you said you wanted to. You specifically said you wanted to argue this point earlier when you were talking about Sam Harris.
Christians and Muslims and people of other religions, I've noticed, is they're wondering where exactly atheists get their morality. It's either going to be based upon society, imagined up, as Richard Dawkins pointed out, or
Where do you get your morality?
nature.
Where do you get it from? Because you said the Bible, we're assuming?
Well, I believe that the morality comes from the higher power, that he designed it.
Yeah,
within it.
but it's recognized that the Bible is the Word of God.
Yes, the Bible is recognized as the Word of God, but the
So you dispute
Bible
that?
also says that it is designed within to us.
Okay,
We all
and
have
the
a sense of right and wrong. Even
Okay,
the
so you're
atheist
referring
has
back.
a
That's
sense of
wonderful.
right.
Okay, no, it's wonderful. You're referring back to the Bible. That's great. Okay, so we see all these horrible things in the Bible. We see slavery. We see archaic rules. We see wanted murder and slaughter.
Yeah.
Usually endorsed by God.
Endorsed by God. So those things are fine, right?
Not for me, it isn't. For other religious people, they've been able to accept it. Not me, though.
Sometimes,
But I thought it was written in our hearts, though. So how could that be?
I believe that
Sometimes
right
it's
and
even
wrong
performed
is,
by
and
God in the
Slavery is
Bible.
in the Bible, but it isn't stating that it's okay. And
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
Master.
It
Where does it say
absolutely-
it's morally good to do this?
All over the place.
It does.
The Bible
There are
contains
things- there are
rules for
things
how to
that God
treat
does in the
slaves,
Bible
and it
that
says
that would be considered negative or bad to us. But
Uh-huh.
it isn't saying he's doing this because he's nice about it. There's wrath, destruction, death.
Right.
Yeah, but what we're saying is that if you look in the Bible is fine with these things. Why can't God, who is all powerful, just say there should be no slavery?
Well, I mean, if you look at it, it either seems like God's damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. If he does something,
No, he's not. If
Brett,
God came
you
out
can't
and
argue
said
with God if
slavery
that's what
is
you believe.
wrong, then that's it. Yeah, that would be the
Well, there are
final
a lot
word.
of
Slavery's
passages.
bad. The end.
You say from a higher
There is
power, Brett. So if
about
God
that.
said,
How is God damned if he does condemn
Yeah.
slavery?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
there
God.
are passages that completely go against the concept of slavery and treating
What,
people.
Name them. Name the passages.
Where's a passage
let's,
that goes
let's
against
go
slavery?
with Jesus, for instance. He says,
Okay.
love
Okay,
your
what
neighbor,
passage?
treat others as you want to be treated.
No,
if you're
that's not
treating
talking about
other people the
slavery.
way you want to be treated, you're
Oh,
not going
that's
to beat
just-
the shit out of them and enslave them.
What
That's just
passages?
fake shit. That's so fucking. That's
So,
such a stretch.
Can you name the
Hey, you
scripture
asked.
that goes against that?
If you're
There's-
treating others the way
that
you want to
doesn't-
be treated,
listen,
would you
that doesn't go
kidnap them,
directly
bring them
against-
over to your country and do
Mhm.
harm to them?
Okay, how does that contradict all the passages that outright endorse slavery, though?
There are passages where people are put into slavery, but it's not saying that that's morally good.
Yes, it is.
It's in the Bible.
Yes, it
And
is.
it prescribes rules for
in
it.
the Bible for how you have to keep your slaves.
The Bible says specifically that slaves are to obey their masters, and it talks about when it's okay to sell people into slavery. But the Bible contains instructions for how to sell your daughter into slavery.
Also telling slaves they should accept slavery because they're going to go to heaven at some point.
Except
If they-
slavery, so they'll get into heaven.
Yes. That's in the Bible, Brett.
Well,
But
as
what,
I
pa- what,
said,
what
if
passages?
you have a
What
passage
passages
in verse
specifically say? What passages specifically say, Brett, that slavery is wrong in the Bible? You brought up
Well,
these
I
other
just told
passages.
you some of the things that Jesus
No,
taught.
but the
Love
Bible
your
has
enemy, do unto others as you want done unto
love your
yourself.
enemy.
Golden rule.
That doesn't. Yeah, but that doesn't take. But that doesn't. Oh my God, Brett, you don't understand. That doesn't fucking take all the other parts of the Bible and say no, this doesn't apply to this.
It's like trying to argue with a fucking tree
Yeah.
stump. It really is.
You can't
Whether,
say
the,
because this is the
whether you believe in the Adam and Eve story or not, I mean, the underlining message is that we all come from the same God, that we all came to the existence through mankind this way.
Yeah, but that's
So
based
none
on
of
what
us
is right
are
in the
less
Bible.
or
All right, so
more than
we
the
got
other.
some passages here. All right.
All right.
Here's Genesis chapter 17, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs to be circumcised. So this is telling you, if you've bought a little slave boy, you need to make sure to circumcise him. It doesn't say, hey, don't buy slave boys. It just says, be sure to cut part of their dick off.
Yeah. Thanks,
Well,
God.
there's different forms of slavery in the Bible. You've heard of the
Oh,
indentured
shit,
servitude.
this.
Are you okay with indentured servitude, Brett?
So indentured servitude is
then,
okay.
Back then, a person could actually commit themselves. Someone say, "I'd work for you for 7 years." They use
Yeah,
the
that's
word
called
slave.
indentured
slavery,
servitude.
Brett. That's still slavery.
I'll work for you for 7 years of my life and not
Yeah.
get compensated
Well,
in
doesn't-
any
isn't
way.
that exactly what we do in modern times? People work. They're giving up their body to be able to get something done.
Yeah, but
and they get paid
voluntarily,
for it.
But they do it voluntarily, Brett. And even if
Yeah,
someone voluntarily
but
sells
they
themselves into
use the word
slavery, that's not
slave
any
in the
better.
Bible. They use
Okay,
the
but
word
Brett,
slave
why
to
does
describe
God
indentured
allow that to
servant.
happen, Brett?
All right.
Why does God allow that to happen?
Let me read
if God
Exodus.
is really against
Let's
slavery,
read. Let's
why
read.
doesn't he just end it
Well,
at
the
any
Bible
time?
actually has
Hold on.
God
Hold on.
freeing
Hold on.
slaves.
Hold on. Hold
Come
on. Let's read
man.
from
Haven't you read
Exodus.
Exodus?
Exodus chapter.
Exodus?
read
But what about all the
I'm
slaves
about
that
to read
preceded
from
us?
Exodus.
And what about
All
the
right.
slaves that exist now?
All right, shut up
Brett?
for a second. I'm going to read it from Exodus.
Okay.
If a man beats his male or female slave with a rod, and the slave dies as a direct result, he must be punished.
So don't kill him.
But he is not to be punished if the slave gets up after a day or two, since the slave is his property. So that's the Bible right there saying
In Exodus.
it's okay to
Who do you
beat your
think is
slaves,
speaking?
just don't beat them to death.
Who do you
Just
think
don't
is
beat them to
speaking?
death. What?
Who do you think is speaking in that passage?
I don't know who the fuck is speaking.
The point
God?
is, in the entire book of Exodus, Moses actually gets the slaves out of Egypt.
Right.
Remember,
This
he
isn't
frees
Egypt.
them and they go to the promised land?
This is
They don't go to the promise. They wander the desert
That
for
is
50 years.
that is
Brett.
Yes,
that.
they did
What,
some long
what I just
walk
read
with
you. What I just read you is
actually
God condoning slavery.
It's
though.
been proven that walking from Egypt to modern day Israel / Palestine.
Yeah, it
would
takes
only-
about 6 days.
Yeah.
It's a 6-day walk. It's not a 40-year fucking
Yeah.
exodus.
Why'd they wander? Why'd they wander for
Yeah,
50 fucking
and so,
years in
and
the
so
desert?
what? Even if you believe that story, so what if God frees those people? What about all the other slaves that preceded them? What about the slaves that exist today?
He still says
So God is still powerless to
I
free
mean, God
them.
specifically in the Bible says that the Israelites can own slaves just as long as they don't own other Israelite slaves. So that's just a group of people who are
Yeah,
saying in
there's
their
different
own
rules.
within the context of their own mythology are like, okay, it's wrong for us to be slaves, but it's okay for us to own any other kind
Well,
of
he
slave.
commands them
Guys,
even
there's
at one
different
point to take
forms
young
of-
girls as slaves.
There's different forms of slavery.
Here's
and
from Leviticus right here. Your male and female slaves
So some
are to
slavery is
come.
permissible.
Listen, your male and female slaves are to come from the nations around you. From them you may buy slaves. You may also buy some of the temporary residents living among you, and members of their clans born in your country, and they will become your property. You can will them to your children as inherited property, which is not indentured servitude, by the way, and can make them slaves for life, but you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So basically, it's okay to have slaves, just don't have Israelite slaves.
Yeah.
And if you do, there's rules.
That's the Bible's fucking position on slavery.
I mean, that's pretty much the position
That's the
on
Old
slavery,
Testament,
period.
yeah.
People aren't like us. Let's go get them and sell them into slavery.
The Old Testament is part of the Bible.
And I obviously don't agree with that. I've said there's things in the Bible I've issue with.
Well, how can you disagree with it?
But how can you disagree with that if that's the Bible, that's your God that you worship, that you think is the ultimate moral authority in the universe? He's saying that. He's saying, you know what, guys, slavery's cool. How are you going to argue with your God?
My point of the moral discussion is that God designed morals into us.
Well,
Doesn't
he
mean
didn't
that
seem
we
to design them into
necessarily
these fuckers
do
who
the
thought
right
slavery
thing
was
all the
okay.
time because of it, though.
But this is God himself given rules for slavery. There's many we've pulled up many verses where God is saying slavery's cool.
Yeah.
The same God in the same book freed over 400,000 Israelites from slavery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
what did he
told
do
them
to
how
the
to
slave
enslave other
owners?
people.
What did he
Yeah,
do
so
to the
he
slave
freed
owners?
the Israelite. He freed the Israelites from Egypt, did he not? And then gave
killed
them
the
rules.
Egyptians for
Right,
it.
Gave them rules.
And then gave them rules on how to continue being slavers by enslaving people around them. What a great, merciful fucking Lord.
This is like if I point out a serial killer killed 12 people, but then it's like, well, but he did save someone one time. One time he was nice. So all of his killing is okay now.
Well, what Brett is saying is there's contradictions in the Bible, which is true. Yes, of course, there's many contradictions in the Bible. But what we're saying to you is if that's your basis of belief, then doesn't
I'm not
it feel
saying
flawed?
a contradiction. I'm saying that I
It is
just
a
simply don't
contradiction,
agree
according to what
with
you're saying.
some of the ways that, and I put this forth in
Oh,
video.
the Bible doesn't
many
contradict
times.
itself ever.
I don't agree with everything that God may have commanded on there.
Well, how?
Okay, so you disagree with God?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then, Brett.
sure, there's a lot.
Okay,
of
well,
laws in the
hold on. No,
Bible
that's
as well as
interesting.
women. There
That's
were men
interesting.
as well as women in the Bible who
Right.
disagreed with some of what God put forth. Sure,
You know what happened to some of those people? He struck them fucking dead, Brett.
some of them, yeah.
I mean, he killed the entire world's
Okay, so
population
wait.
at some time in the
So-
Bible.
Because
too.
I
You
don't
worship-
like
hold on,
or
you
agree
worship a
with the
God
way
that
you don't
God
agree
may
with.
have handled something doesn't
Right.
make God non-existent. That's the point.
That's not the point.
But isn't he supposed to be infallible, and isn't he supposed to be the basis of your objective morality?
He is what designed the morals and the ability for us to be able to understand right and wrong. And right now, I think that I'm using that.
Okay.
What?
So, oh, all right. I'm sorry. Your position is very confusing, Brett. I don't know how you're juggling that, but that's a fascinating bundle of fucking crazy right there.
Hey,
why is it so crazy?
It's
There's
crazy
a lot of
because
people,
okay,
believers
look,
out there who question all the time.
It's crazy because what you're basically saying is that there's this God who gave you the capacity to know right from wrong, but this same God did horrible things, and you condemn him for that and disagree with that, even though he's the one who gave you the capacity to disagree with it, which, by the way, biblically that's not even true. It was Satan that gave you that capacity.
Where
by
does it say
getting
Satan
Adam
gave me any abilities.
Satan is the one that convinced Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Oh shit! Hold on.
The fuck is that?
It's Brett Keane's website.
Oh.
He's got Journey playing on his website.
Just a small town girl.
Well, there's tons and tons of music playing through. Sorry about that.
That's all
That's
right.
why I muted it earlier so it wouldn't blast your broadcast. I'm saying
So-
God designed it. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to agree with every command or point that was put out there.
But on what basis can you argue with God? Is what
Yeah,
we're saying.
how can you argue with his morality? He has infallible
Not really
morality.
much you can really argue with him if you're standing before him. You can say, "Look, I didn't like the slavery stuff. I didn't like the genocide. I didn't like it whenever you set plagues on people." But at that point, I mean,
But why would
God-
you not like
yeah,
it?
yeah, so
Why
what,
then why
Frank?
worship him?
Yeah, if you got
worship-
your morality from God, wouldn't you share the
Just
same
because I
morals?
believe in God doesn't mean that you bring something negative up or that I don't agree with that all of a sudden he doesn't exist.
So you
It
didn't
doesn't
get your
mean
morality
that.
from God on that issue. You
I
got it
don't
from
like
somewhere
Joseph
else.
Stalin either. Who killed
Hold
all
on,
those
hold on, hold
people I
on.
know existed.
Where did you get the morality from on that issue? Since you didn't get it from God, and God disagrees with you there.
Yeah.
I think God gave me the ability to be able to disagree.
So you didn't get your morality.
Yeah, you could disagree, but according to that, you're wrong.
It's called free will.
Okay.
So you acknowledge that you're
Which
wrong.
can't exist, by the way.
So
I
wait.
don't even know if I want to go down that road.
I mean, God is. So wait, God, you disagree with God,
So you're
who
wrong.
is infallible. So you're admitting that you're wrong on slavery. Slavery actually is moral, but you're just disagreeing with it because you personally disagree with it.
I'm not as rigid as some religious folks on this matter. I know some they'll just
You're not
simply
rigid on
say,
any matter.
Yeah,
Every single
he's
matter was
infallible.
brought
He
up.
would
You're
never do
slippery and
something
wobbly
negative.
on. Because if you actually had to take a real position, you'd have to defend it. So instead, you just fucking hide behind a bunch of fucking fake nuance.
No, God knows
Yeah.
my heart. He knows if I'm going to be for something or against something.
Okay.
I've said in video that if God
Wait a minute.
go out and do
So God
something
already
wrong,
knows
I
what
wouldn't do
Brett
it.
is going to
So
do.
God knows if you're going to be for something or against something.
Right.
And he created you.
Right.
So how do you have free will?
Well, knowing something is different than making someone do something.
That's not
No, it's not.
not when you're talking about an omnipotent creator God.
Sure
It
it is.
isn't. He created you. He formed you in your mother's womb and knew every decision you'd ever make because he's God. He's omnipotent, but he's not responsible for the things that you do. How do you have
He's
free will,
responsible
Brett?
for me and
You
and
can't.
the son.
You can't even defend the fucking basic pillar of your argument, the ground that
You
your
don't
argument
understand the
rests
concept
upon.
of free will. Free will is not forcing someone to make choices. It's allowing them to make it, whether it's wrong or right.
Okay, let me tell you how to force somebody to make a choice. You create them, knowing what choices they're making, and then unleash them on the world to make those choices. That's the definition of taking something.
Let me
free
ask.
will.
Let me just put it this
right
way.
and wrong.
Let's say I create a fucking cyborg.
I've done, yeah.
That's, it's designed to go out there and just murder. Like, I create a fucking Terminator, but then I say, look, the Terminator doesn't have to kill people. It just has a strong predilection to do that.
Yeah, it can make a choice.
If I recall from watching the Terminator movies, didn't he go good for a while there?
I mean, oh my God, dude.
That's because he was reprogrammed by John Connor.
Yeah, he was reprogrammed by John Connor to go back and whatever.
Yeah, once again, a
why are we
subversion of his free will.
discussing the fucking? That's not the point. Who cares?
Okay, let me ask Brett a question.
All right,
It's very similar.
You take a
It's very
shot.
similar.
All right, we're gonna try to put this a different way. Paul's got a
All
different
right,
analogy.
We're gonna go
for
with
you.
robots again, but let's say there's a mad scientist, Brett, and he creates a giant fucking robot, and he programs that robot. He knows that this robot is programmed to stomp its way from the West Coast, where he's based at, all the way across the United States and decimate New York City and make a line of destruction in its path, right? He creates it, he turns it on, and it does it. Who do the people blame for the destruction? The creator or the creation?
Well, you're setting it to where that's the only thing the robot was
All right,
programmed
well,
to do.
Hold on. Let's say the robot is programmed to like that, but it has the option within itself not to do that.
No, it goes farther than that. Because with God, he knows every decision you're ever going to fucking make. This isn't just a predilection, TJ.
Knowing and
this is
making
like he
things
knows
happen is
he
totally
knows
different.
that
I'm
he
just
knows
trying
at this
to- I'm
point
just
I'm
trying
going to
to-
walk across the street and there's going to be a hooker that looks good and I'm going to get syphilis from her. He knows that when he formed me in my mother's womb. It says it in the Bible,
Well,
and Brett has
it can
said
be-
so himself. There is
I
no
wouldn't
way.
mind answering your question on the robot.
Go
thing.
ahead.
So there's a robot that is programmed to be able to walk to the west and destroy
Yeah.
everything, right?
East, but that's fine. Whatever. I don't expect you to know
But
cardinal
the
directions.
scientist, the programmer, actually puts parameters in that
Right.
only do this whenever there are terrorists or bad people. Then do this. Gives
Right,
the
well-
ability and programs it to have the power and the ability to do such a thing. But it
Okay.
also has parameters to do other choices.
And it goes and kills people. Who do they blame? He gave
No,
it
the
the
robot-
ability and the proclivity to go kill people. He made it pleasurable, and then it went and did it. And who's to blame? The scientist or the robot? The robot's to blame. You think we should have the giant robot go to the Hague
It depends
and
on
try
the
it for
intention
fucking
of the
murder?
Scientist. Did he build the robot for defense or to?
No, he's a
destroy-
mad fucking crazy freak.
It's Dr. Wiley.
Look, there's no point with these analogies because he's always just going to ask for like some weird point of clarification that means nothing. And like it's
he's just retarded.
There's like it's
Well,
not.
let's look
You're
at the
never gonna.
definition
You're
of
never gonna
free
pin it
will. That
down.
ought to clear it up.
Okay. Let's look at the definition of free will.
The definition of free will doesn't matter because the problem with free will in Christianity comes before you even define free will.
Yeah, no, let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so here's the definition of free will. The power of acting without the constraint of necessity or fate. The ability to act at one's own discretion.
Right. So, Brett, you earlier said that God already knows what decisions I'm going to make. He knows which way to wind his ball.
It's already been fated.
Yeah.
Or predetermined.
So, ergo, you see, without the constraint of necessity or fate, your whole argument just fell apart before your eyes. How does it
We're
feel?
looking through one single narrow perspective of the
No,
human.
we're looking
He's
from
able
the
to see
perspective
all
of
the different
Christianity.
things that I could possibly do.
You're a dimwit. We're looking from your perspective. You said that God created you and knows every decision that you're going to make. That's fate, bitch! That means that you have no control. That means you're a little meat puppet on God's fucking gangly old fingers. Roll it over in bed and order mac
what
and
they're
cheese.
saying is, maybe you get to make the decision, but it's already been determined for you, and God already knows what you're going to do.
Your argument is garbage.
Predetermined destiny.
You asked us to fucking define free will.
Do as well.
What?
Parents have a pretty good insight on what we might do as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that they made us to do it.
Parents?
Yeah, like for instance,
Parents
mothers
often
and
don't
fathers,
have a
when
good
they bring
insight into what their children are going to do at all.
They know that there's a good chance that you might get your heart broken.
but
Brett, you had a fucking
parents and God are not comparable in your model.
Brett, you had
not
crazy
comparable.
abusive parents.
It's funny because
how does this fucking support your argument?
It's funny because parents are the people who actually do create people.
But no one creates another person knowing everything they're going to do.
They could have been the greatest people in the world. That was their choice.
That was their choice.
It was their choice, huh? So did you choose to be an agoraphobic sack of shit? When did you choose that?
No, I did not choose to do it.
Oh,
but
you didn't
I
choose
also
to do that?
Not completely constrict me either. I always attempt and try my best.
Well, I'm just
to get
asking
over
you
it.
though. Like you just said, people choose their lot in life. Your lot in life is laying around in a fucking house. Why did you choose that? If you've got free will, why don't you just free will yourself up out of your fucking agoraphobia? You see what I'm saying? The argument is so full of holes, it's worse than the Swiss cheese that fucking Dorn stirred into the mac earlier.
Oh, there's no Swiss in there. That's like...
I believe that there are some things that are predestined and that there's also the parameter.
Why only
of free
some
will.
things?
But what?
So how is that determined?
How do you know
then?
that? Yeah, how do you determine that?
How do you determine what's predestined and what you are given
How do you
free
determine
will?
what's predetermined?
How do you reconcile having a worldview that relies on fucking free will and think that there's a possibility for predestination?
All right,
That's what I want to know.
Happy to give you a great analogy.
okay.
Which
All right.
one of you in here are gamers?
Paul is. Whatever. I play video games.
Paul plays games.
I don't
Okay,
call
so
myself
whenever
a
you're
gamer.
playing the Sims, you have already a predestined set program that you're going to be playing. In the simulation, if you were to take your fingers and hands off the keyboard, will the Sims do what they want to, providing you have free will turned on?
Actually, they don't do what they want. They're programmed by a programmer.
Yeah.
Who created a computer program.
Do you think when you're playing The Sims, there are a bunch of little people living in your computer that you're controlling?
I
That's a
understand
program,
that there's
dipshit. They don't
parameters
have
where
free
the
will.
program will
Someone
actually
sat down
work
and
on
wrote
it
that
without
out
being involved.
into code.
You sat down and created them to have traits that drive what they want, dipshit. So even if you have the little free will
There you go,
slider turned
Paul.
on,
They don't have free will.
All right, hold on. Let's hear Brett's point here. Go
No,
ahead, Brett.
I think that was great what Paul said. You design them, you give them the traits and the abilities, and then they work with what they got. Very good. Exactly.
They don't have free will.
they don't have free will. They're programmed to do a certain
It says
subset
right
of
there in
things
the
based
menu
on a
that
box
you
you
can put them
check.
on free will, and they'll sit there and take a shit on their own. and
Wait a
eat
minute.
and
Are you
everything else.
telling
You
me
don't
that
have
having a fucking slider in a video game is an example that you're, it says right there they got free will?
But Paul, not only that, Brett, you have a worldview that doesn't really line up with the views you purport to have. Because you're saying, oh, I have problems with the Bible, I have problems with Scripture, I have problems with what God has commanded. But how can you have those problems and still believe and maintain that's your worldview?
I believe there's an intelligence behind all this. It doesn't necessarily mean that I think that everything's positive.
Well, you provided absolutely no fucking defense of that tonight, not once.
But what I'm getting at here is, and you're not answering this point, is that you are in direct contradiction with the person you believe created everything. How do you reconcile
Well, God gave
that?
me the ability to disagree with him.
But why?
But why would you? Is what I'm saying.
Listen, you know that God, as you believe,
is infallible.
Yeah, you know that He's perfect and
so
created.
why don't you bend to His superior will and knowledge? Is what I'm saying to you. If you know you're wrong.
God, I don't know if God is infallible or perfect like some religious people would state.
follow
Just
him?
stating I
Then
believe.
how the fuck is it God even?
I believe in the existence. God works in mysterious ways. I don't know everything about it.
Thanks, Grandma.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Grandma. I feel better about skinning my knee
are we
now.
watching a Lifetime original
Claiming that
movie?
They know everything about the attributes of God and how He does
Right.
things. The Bible actually tells you that no man understands his mind. His ways are not our ways.
Then why call him?
But yet again, you're referring back to the Bible. It says those things, the points we just brought up about slavery and other things.
All right.
You're cherry picking the Bible. You're cherry picking the Bible, Brett.
What the fuck doesn't he cherry pick?
Everything. Everything in his
It's
life
not
is cherry picked.
picking. I'm stating
Yes,
the
it
verses
is.
are there. It's just I don't agree with some
Well,
of it.
then do you agree with the other verses?
So how? Let me ask you this, Brett. How do you determine what verses you agree with and what verses you don't?
What verses I don't?
Yeah.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. I agree they are there and they say what they say.
Okay,
It's just
yeah.
not something I would live my life behind on some of the passages.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, how do you make that determination between the ones that are true and the ones that you feel are you disagree with on some level? How do you make that
The only thing
determination?
I can do is simply say I disagree with slavery. I disagree with going into cities and wiping people out. That's all that I can put forth. What else can a human
But why
do
would you follow
besides
the
disagree with
the
it?
teachings of some being or of higher power?
I mean, this is like if you worship Jeffrey Dahmer, but
Yeah.
said, I don't really agree with the whole serial killing aspect of Jeffrey Dahmer, but he definitely
Everything else.
existed and he was good.
Yeah, I don't understand the
I
cognitive
didn't
dissonance
say
going
I didn't
on.
say that was actually good what it was doing. That's the problem.
I know. I understand that.
Ah, you stupid fucking
God
website,
damn
Brett.
your fucking website.
But if you, yeah.
Dude, you have the worst fucking
But if you
website
disagree
ever.
with genocide, why would you follow the teachings of someone that commanded genocide?
Oh, come
Not
on.
following the genocide or doing slaves out of the slave.
Yeah, you don't follow that part. So that's cherry
I-
picking.
I-
you remember
I
earlier
go
when we
on-
said you're cherry
you're
picking?
selective
What
with your
actually helps
interpretation.
me on a philosophical level and more.
So you have a personal God then. You don't have the Christian God. You have your own personal God.
So you think God's just kind of an asshole sometimes?
I think there's things I agree with on God, and then there's things no.
Well, that's not how it works, Brett. If you
God.
follow the Bible, that's not how it works. You can't just say, "Well, I personally disagree with this," because if God did it, then it's right.
I mean, let's try a Q&A. Let's try just a logical A to B, okay?
All right.
Did God create everything, Brett? Yes or no?
I believe that He created all things that are logical.
Does
Okay,
God
whatever.
create-
I'll accept
Fine.
it. He created everything.
He created all things that are
Does
logical.
God know everything?
Say it one more time.
Does God know everything?
Yes.
So God created everything. God knows everything. Does God have the power to change anything that He wants at any time?
Yes, He has the power to.
Okay. Do you have free will?
Yeah.
Sorry, you did so well all the way till the end.
Just because someone has the power to do something doesn't mean that it's going to go against what someone can do.
No, but what it does mean is if God created you knowing from before He formed you in your mother's womb every decision that you would ever make in your life, then you had absolutely no choice in any of those decisions and thus are a fucking pillar that stands to the absence of free will.
You're just a cog in His machine.
Do you understand that basic
It
logical
sounds to me
sentiment?
like you're saying that you want to argue towards not having any responsibility of your own.
No, that's not. What are you talking about?
Well, it is. You're
No.
basically saying, well, God knows
I'm gonna take a
everything,
piss.
So if Paul's ego goes out and ends up fucking up, then that must be God's
No,
fault.
no, because Paul has a rational worldview, which he does believe he actually does have free will, because he doesn't believe in any sort of religious.
Paul just wants to be a
connotation
sinner.
or being or anything or
I mean,
higher power. He's an atheist.
Yeah, dude, I'm an atheist. I'm skeptical on the existence of free will. Period. You know what I mean? When it comes down to a macro level, I don't even know if anybody has free will, but I'm certain you don't. Not in your fucking universe.
Shitting on humanity for the negative things that they do, yet you still believe that we got here through evolution. Do you say that evolution doesn't exist simply because that's where you believe that your morals came from?
What do you even? What? I don't even know how to answer that question. That question makes no sense.
Well, I mean, you're saying, well, when we were talking about this, I know that Joseph Stalin killed millions of people, wanted an atheist state. That doesn't mean because I don't like him or
Did he
agree
kill
with
millions
him, in the name of atheism?
Did he kill millions of people in the name of atheism? Was he like, yes, in the name of atheism, I will decimate my country?
He was trying to build an atheist state.
No, he was trying to maintain a dictatorship in a country, and that he used those political killings against his political opponents for power.
I mean,
he
it's just
killed
retarded.
priests and monks who didn't do anything to him.
Yeah, they did. They challenged his power.
Yeah, they challenged his power and subverted his fucking authority.
He didn't agree with their views, so he felt they needed to be wiped out.
Yeah, because their views
did that to everybody.
was that he should not be the leader of that country necessarily.
Yeah, he killed atheists too. Didn't agree with them.
Why are we talking about Joseph
Yes, he
Stalin?
did.
Does Joseph Stalin create you?
No.
Did he? Does Joseph Stalin know everything?
No.
Then why are we talking about Joseph Stalin?
I'm
We're
just
talking
telling
about
you,
God.
just because you don't like or agree with something doesn't mean it's non-existent.
What?
Well, we know Joseph Stalin
Brett,
existed.
if you want to go that route, you're okay. If you make a claim that God exists, which we don't agree with, what evidence can you provide for that? Which let's be honest, the answer is you can't. But go ahead if you want to.
Sure. Let me open up some of my views that I got here.
Some of your
I didn't
views.
realize that you guys were going to actually want to discuss theology with me tonight. I figured we'd just make fun of the way I talk all night.
Well, it just kind of went there.
We can only milk that for so long.
But hold on, let me get it for you. Let me get this. Okay.
Why can't you just speak extemporaneously?
My page, because I got a lot of reasons why it is I believe in God.
A lot of reasons.
I've got a lot of reasons why I think free will is bullshit, and I don't have notes in front of me.
Not reasons you believe in God. Evidence. Evidence for your claim.
All right. I think we have some more videos here too. A few more.
Well, Brett's looking up some arguments for the existence of God.
Well, let's let him take a moment for that, I guess. Look up your arguments.
Yeah, for some reason he has to look up his own arguments.
I mean, it's fucking retarded, man.
All right, well, I'll tell you what.
I don't. Who the fuck has to look up why they believe in their core beliefs? I don't get that.
I have a lot of reasons why.
Well, give me one. Then
give us one.
I'm going to give you some scientific reasons.
Some scientific
I don't think those
I don't
exist.
think. And if you do read anything, and it doesn't come from you, I'm calling you on it. I don't want to hear somebody else's words. We didn't pay you to come on here and read Wikipedia to us, dipshit.
Here's why C.S. Lewis believed in the God situation.
I don't want to hear quotes.
All right.
I want to hear what Brett Keane, why Brett Keane defends his position.
Okay.
Well, if you continue to talk, I can't respond
Go ahead.
to you.
Well, what are we supposed to do?
Slow
We're supposed to be
down,
dead
relax,
silent while you look this shit up,
relax.
or what? Come on, you got it or not?
All right. So, you guys believe in the Big Bang, right?
I guess.
I believe it's the strong current theory for the origin of the universe.
I believe that's the best cosmological model.
It's the prevailing cosmological model.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Do you believe that space and time and nature itself came into existence from the beginning of the universe?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't even. Hold on. Wait a minute. I have a contention. I have a contention.
All right. Paul has a.
I have not seen it demonstrate. Hold on. I have a contention. You're asking questions, and I have a different answer.
Yeah.
I have a different answer than TJ had.
My answer is yes. I believe that. Paul has some exceptions.
I have not seen it demonstrated in any cosmological model that the universe, as it exists now, had a beginning. The Big Bang could very well have been a constantly repeating process of expansion and contraction that has gone on forever.
He's supposed to be one of the smartest atheists in the world. He says so.
Okay.
Well, that's fine. I disagree.
Well, who gives a shit?
Well, Paul said. Okay. Well,
I mean, fair enough. I guess
Paul's talking about the multiverse theory, but that's fine.
It's all good.
Or
Okay,
the
so you guys
accordion
agree the ones who
expansion
actually
sure.
believe in the Big Bang theory, which, by the way, the theory was produced by priests. You guys know this?
Of course.
I don't care.
Yeah, it was a Catholic.
Right,
Doesn't matter.
Time came into existence through the beginning of the universe, right?
Yeah. That's what
Sure, I'm
that's
willing
what it
to go
says.
with it.
That's what it says.
So whatever
yes.
the cause was, would have had to have been outside of nature.
Well, no, hold
You
on.
haven't demonstrated
All right,
the need
hold on.
for a
there's
cause.
there's already a problem
So
here, though.
we're going with the first cause
because
argument.
I'm sorry, because if you say that time didn't exist before the Big Bang, then the Big Bang doesn't need a cause because a cause is something that exists within our reality that already
a temporal
exists.
understanding of reality.
Whatever the prime mover
If
would be.
there was no
and
time
by the way,
before
I don't know if
then
you realize
yeah.
this, but prime mover can actually be an atheistic view as well.
Sure.
It's not supernatural.
I know, I know what you mean, but I'm saying that there's
so the
no
prime mover,
a cause is
whatever
not
the cause
absolutely
was,
necessary
would
for
have
this.
been- Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because, for one, if it was outside of time, that would mean that it has the attribute of eternal.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. The concept. Hold on.
Eternal and timeless are not necessarily the same
the
thing.
concept of time, the concept of eternity doesn't exist before time. Eternity is a time-based concept.
Yeah.
So it can't exist before
It's
the
actually
concept of time exists.
it's almost the opposite of eternity. No,
that's not.
Eternal is infinite time. We're talking about zero time. So they're actually on totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yep.
Yeah, if time doesn't exist, then it's not eternal.
Has your line of questions that you're reading off a website fallen apart yet, or you want to keep going?
No, I've done videos.
All right, I'll
on
tell you
this
what.
Before. I got
I'll
a
tell you
video
what.
up on Vidme
I'll go
where I
along with it.
discuss
I'll go along. I'm curious enough to see where you're going that I'll go along
Let's
with
hear
it.
the first
Sure.
cause argument replayed.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead and make this first
Okay,
cause
so
shit. Yeah.
One, from my viewpoint, whether you disagree or not, is that this
Uh-huh.
would be outside of time and nature itself, including matter.
Okay.
So
This would mean, necessarily, by definition, that the origins of the universe and life itself would be supernatural by definition.
Okay, so what caused the first supernatural being to come into existence?
That's that's where it gets cute. If it's outside of time, as Mr. TJ eloquently put forth, at zero time, it's always been.
No.
No,
what caused
because
the
that's
first
not
cause?
the same thing.
Right. Because time, it can't have always been. Something that's always been is under the constraints of time, which by your own line of questioning
Okay.
did not exist
If
before
you
the
believe-
universe came into
If you
existence.
believe in the Big Bang, then nothing was before.
Yeah.
So there
You
is
don't
no.
believe nothing was before, so you don't. Do you guys listen to Lawrence Cross?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard Lawrence
He
Krauss, yes.
claims that he believes that there are multi-dimensions as well
Yes.
as other universes that exist.
And I agree that those are probably, well, maybe not probably true, but good
I mean,
good areas of exploration for science.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So if that is true, that there is other universes, and most likely they will not act under the exact same laws of this universe.
Exactly, but see, the problem with that is, Brett, is that if Lawrence Krauss is right and the multiverse theory is right, then there may have never been a beginning. So the whole prime mover argument goes right down the shithole.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever the cause would be outside.
No,
of
there
time
would
and
no
nature itself.
outside of cause.
You can't. With no one here, like not us, not you. No one can demonstrate that there ever was a first cause.
All right, guys, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I'll be able to hear you though.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Go have a French vanilla.
Yeah, have a French vanilla situation. Wow.
Is he taking us to the shitter with him?
I don't know.
This is exhausting.
Would you like
This
me
is-
to?
No, please don't.
Please don't.
We're okay.
We're good.
And God, man, don't blow a big old butt trumpet blast, please.
If we hear some,
dude, if I hear a big old wet manatee
So,
fart, I'm never gonna eat
While
again.
we're waiting on that, I'm gonna stop this recording and start a new one. That way, we have two files.
Okay.
That might be safer to do, right?
Go ahead and make sure it doesn't blue screen on us or something.
Yeah, that was the old computer when that happened, though.
yeah, just go ahead and stop.
Monkey.
Have you seen the Stephen Hawking movie?
Is he talking to us from the shit?
Yes, he's on the fucking.
He's on the
can.
fucking shitter talking to us. Yes, that's what's going on.
I
Have we
have-
seen
I
the
have
Stephen?
not.
I've seen Stephen Hawking. Are you talking about the?
He's talking about the movie based on his life,
like the one where he, the little romance movie and shit. I
There
haven't
was
seen
a
it.
tad bit of romance at the beginning, but obviously, whenever his condition set forth, romance stopped. Right? But
I mean, I thought the whole movie. I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually seen it, so no, I've not seen that. Why?
There's a terrific part where he's sitting at the table with this Christian wife, and he is explaining to her his theory on why he thinks that the universe had a beginning. And she's looking at him and saying, why do you have that expression on your face of disappointment? He said, because if the universe has a beginning, this means that God is back in business.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
One of my favorite quotes.
God is back in business.
Well, Stephen Hawking is an atheist.
You
so,
haven't demonstrated,
I mean,
though, that the universe did have a beginning.
I mean, we don't even know if that conversation actually happened, and even if it did, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what we should shift to for a minute here?
What's that?
For kind of a way, kind of staying on the topic of religion, but moving into politics. Like, Brett, how do you feel about religion and government?
I don't think it's a good idea.
Wow, that's surprising.
Okay.
Well, he's kept some of his reasonability from his atheist
So
days.
God's infallible wisdom guiding our laws is not a good thing. Do I get a quote
Because of
from Brett Keane?
mankind's free will that I'm concerned about.
But God already knows what's going to happen.
Religious people and non-believers have fucked up repeatedly throughout history, and I don't want people going in there because even though
because
they say that's
it's
based
interesting
upon
that
God
you were
and their
talking.
faith,
It's
the
interesting
problem
that. It's interesting that you were talking about atheist governments killing a lot of people, but you know all about all the Christian-led governments in Europe that killed a bunch of people too, right?
Right.
Muslim-led governments now.
Yep.
What is your position on Muslims at this time, Brett? I'm kind of curious about that.
I think that they've had more than enough time to get it straightened out. I mean, you guys like to use the word evolved. It appears to me that Christians have definitely become more gentle, so has the Jews. As were
they had a
Muslims,
much
they won't
they
put
had
up
a
with
much
anybody,
longer
including
period.
each other.
Yeah.
Well, they kill their families right out in the damn street and everything like that, cutting the hands off children. And
Christians have done all those things.
Jews
we live in modern
Jews too.
times now, and they're still
Yeah.
doing this.
I mean,
they're
whatever.
a younger religion.
I mean, when did modern times start?
He doesn't know.
I'm
No one
talking
knows.
about our time period that we are. It's obvious. Most atheists I talk to also will say, "Hey, I can see the Muslims. They haven't evolved. They haven't changed. They're not getting."
I don't
any
think
better."
I wouldn't say they haven't evolved. I mean, maybe I don't mean literally evolved, but maybe like their views haven't evolved. If that's what
So
you mean.
let's focus for a minute on Brett Keane's feelings towards women, because this has evolved a bit too. Speaking of things that have evolved,
Hello, folks. This is Brett Keane.
this is suicidal Brett Keane back in the day with his crooked
And
dentures.
I've been checking out some of my videos, some of my older ones.
So these were false
I have one
teeth
in
here, Brett?
particular called Double Standard.
These are false teeth
for lesbians in society. And that seems to be a very, very popular video. And a lot of people agree with me.
Do you remember this video, Brett?
No.
Me, both pagan, agnostic, atheist, and Christian alike, see a very serious problem with men seem to be fine, especially Christians seem to be fine with lesbians, but they have a problem with gay males. And I heard a lot of different reasons why people believe that's the situation. One of the key reasons they pointed out was a dominance thing, that a man doesn't like to be dominated. I'm not sure I'm sure that in some situations there's a lot of macho men out there who feel that way. Personally, I don't mind being passive to a female myself.
Brett. So you're into BDSM, Brett?
Yeah, it depends on your perception of it.
Depends on your
I love the
perspective.
pause before his reply.
Well, I like a strong, independent woman.
Okay. I mean, hey, at least
No,
you
no.
know
Here
what you
you
want,
made it
man.
sound like you like to get your ass beat sexually.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
Do
your
you ever,
words
do you
on
ever,
imagination.
does Dorn ever put you over the knee?
Give you a little panking.
No? Maybe?
Spank the old manatee
That was a
rump.
knowing little chuckle. I'm just going to keep going. I don't even want
I
to know
like
the
to be
answer.
aggressive at times, but sometimes I like it when a woman just slams me down and has her way with me.
There you go! Come on!
Verbatim. Boom.
Come
boom,
on!
Boom.
Slams Brett down.
So let me ask you this,
has-
Brett. Is that still true, or has that changed?
Well, that's true to this day, probably to my death, probably.
Till the day you die.
I like how we wouldn't talk about it until we totally had it nailed here. Like,
But that's just my prerogative. Maybe some
Sure.
men like to be in control all the time. I don't need to be. But one of the things I was asked in an email about from this young lady, she says, Brett, besides lesbian and homosexuality, how do you feel about how women
Lesbians
are
are
treated?
homosexuals, by the way.
Well, I feel like women are are treated like weaker vessels. I believe that women are treated like a weaker group, and I think that the United States of America and most of the world seems to look at white people as the dominant.
So you have to have
group
evolved your
for
position
some-
on this, right? Because, the Bible is very clear that women are weaker vessels, right? Or is that another one of the things that you disagree with God on?
As their role, obviously they are.
It's their
they are
role to
physically-
be weak.
A majority of them are not as physically strong as males. That's scientific.
Well, absolutely.
Sure.
But
Right,
that
but we're
doesn't
talking-
mean that it's okay to fucking not pay them enough or be able to give them jobs and all that.
Yeah.
What if they're not strong enough to do the jobs?
If they're not strong enough to do the job, I would say the same thing I say to a guy. If he's not able to lift things, it's pointless to have him working in a furniture store, right?
So women are not the weaker vessel then?
Well, this really depends on the genetics and the woman. There are women like China from WWE that she'd probably beat my ass all over the ring.
Right.
Well,
we all know about statistical outliers, but you do now agree that women are weaker.
But a
the
biblical
weaker
view
vessel.
of women is that women should basically be silent and should do what they're told.
Right, and that's a biblical view.
Yeah,
because they're the weaker vessel.
passage has some females that were arguing inside of the church with, I believe, Paul, and he's the one that said this was from his point of view that women should be silent.
All right, first of all, don't quote mind me.
Sake and all that, that women
mind
do that.
quote.
Don't mind quote.
No.
Oh yeah, sorry. Don't mind quote me. I can't even fuck
so you're
up.
saying the Bible doesn't that you're saying that only applies to that one time. That's what you're saying?
I believe that there are some passages that speak of women as being less
Subservient.
physical, less stronger. Sure.
Yeah, subservient. Obey your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. So you agree with that? No?
I think that if people are in a relationship, I think that it should be equal back and forth. That we should
So you
listen,
disagree with
respect,
God. Okay.
communicate,
All right.
trust, that kind of stuff.
So let's take a look at this.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out all my YouTube channels, links in the description, and also check out my gaming channel, Games You Love, including my brother's channel. Connect with me through Twitter and Facebook if you want to have some good discussion.
Man, a lot of advertising, man.
Also,
Yeah, buddy.
if you'd like to participate.
Oh, but just to that point, the thing you quoted, Brett, I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be silent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Paul's view.
In my
Paul-
live shows,
that's what Paul
simply
thinks.
Yeah.
check out the links in the description. It's
That's just
pretty
Paul.
fucking simple.
I think that
Low
there's great
energy.
women teachers out there.
Today I want to talk about Nadia Chambers, a
Oh.
homosexual man who sits on the internet and claims that they want gays as well as transgenders and transsexuals to get along with Christians and not have religion pushed on them. But there's no Christians who are actually pushing shit on Nadia whatsoever. In fact, any Christians
So
that
just
have
to
ever went-
clarify here, Nadia is a trans woman,
It's a man.
and you
And this,
referred
what
her.
I'm saying here is not. I do know that there are transgenders who have been fucked with unfairly, but in
like you're
Nadia's
doing
case,
here.
she was literally sitting in front of the computer the entire time on Hangouts, and she would say Christians are so mean and horrible to her, and I'm like, where are they doing this at? You got mostly atheists sitting in the room bitching at you all the time.
So, as a Christian, you decided it would be a good idea to take a trans woman and call her a man in front of everybody. That's a good Christian thing to do.
Well, that's what she actually is. And that's supposed to bear false witness.
Okay.
Oh God, you're so full of
So,
shit.
but wait, when
She's
you guys,
your friend, though.
but let's get this.
The Bible, when it's
But just,
convenient.
because
Well, this
someone's
is
my
kind of your
friend
MO
doesn't mean
though. Well, hold on though, because when
Brett is so against bearing false
when
witness. by the
Nadia,
way.
yeah, but when Nadia was your friend, you called her a her, and you respected that. But
Yep.
then, as soon as you decided you didn't like her anymore, then all of a sudden it's a man in drag, basically.
And
I've had
like the
disagreements with
ultimate.
Nadia, but I still like Nadia. I got Nadia on my Skype and talk to.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But this is an example of how you treat your friends.
By having
When they're
disagreements.
when they're
I've
yeah
heard
yeah you
Scotty
have
called TJ a faggot right before closing out a DP. People had disagreements. It doesn't mean they hate each other.
I think that's a little different.
Yeah,
What's
slightly different. Oh.
People say shit.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough, Brett.
All right, so let's take a look at this next one then. This is atheist daddy issues and abuse to women. Can we skip a little bit ahead in this so we don't have to listen to... Oh, well, maybe he's not going to do this. Is he going to do his little sales pitch, or is he just getting right into it for once? I guess he's just getting into me.
Yeah, it's just a list of TJ things.
All right, let's take a look at me.
Well, how the hell did you get a hold of that one? I got rid of all of my videos on my pages.
Oh, T.
The big bad misogynist bitch. Women are not smart. Damn right they're not. Yeah, I know it's obvious, cunts. I think women are stupid. Fucking women
This is totally edited.
Fucking stupid cunts. Can't fucking drive, cackling cunts. Horrible, evil, cackling bitches. Women are weak. They're sheep. They're controlled by men. They're objectified by men. They're oppressed by men at every turn.
Dude,
they
you're
live
being
in
mind-quoted
constant
pretty
fear
hard
of
here,
men
TJ.
Because
It's all
men are
good.
just so fucking evil and corrupted. Bitch! Women are completely unlikable cunts who are shrill and annoying and evil. No one likes them because they're horrible fucking people. Women are really stupid and fuck them, bitch. Fat fucking bitch. All those women rejected me in high school, and I'm fucking pissed. That's why
I like
hate
how he
you,
threw that one
cock
in.
Guzzling slut.
So
no, wait. So
I'm sorry,
Brett,
what's the point here?
So, well, with Brett, what was interesting was Brett was saying that, the only time in the Bible was St. Paul. That was just his advice. But here we go.
No, I
Thou
didn't
shalt
say
not-
the only place. I said there are other places where women are talked about.
They're talked about, yeah. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his ass, and we all know that. So women are property.
Yeah.
In a biblical sense, you can own a woman as property. You can take a woman as a concubine. You can own her.
Yeah, there were some tribes in the Bible who actually had that
There
perception.
were tribes.
Sure.
Oh, there were tribes in the Bible.
Tribes in the Bible.
Yeah, and we see in the Bible all these references to women being property and to be basically told what to do.
Why do Christians attack women?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like a fucking weirdo that you sat and edited this weird fucking clips of TJ for hours and hours going, I hate women. Women are dumb.
It didn't take me hours to put the video together.
Sure.
It's only 10 minutes.
Yeah, even with rendering.
This isn't even. This isn't even.
Hours.
This isn't even edited. This is just me talking
Direct
about my feelings of women
in
context.
Yeah.
All in context.
But Brett, what I'm saying to you is, we can go through the Bible. There's so many different instances. There's so many passages that have this sort of slant to them. So it's not like there's just one verse that says this about women.
Well, I disagree with Gord then.
There is a consistent pattern about how the view of the time of women was in those time periods.
I mean, listen, Scotty.
There's an historical record, Brett.
My
of these
Gord,
things.
my
So
Gord.
I'm really kind of confused if you look at that and the Bible. That you can say, oh well, no, women were always. It was always an equal setting.
Brett's relationship to the Bible is weird as fuck.
My Gord may think that women are subservient to men in every way, and
Then
may
you don't
think that slavery and murder and Holocaust is okay.
I didn't
but
say it was okay.
I still worship him.
No, we're saying your God thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
God thinks it's okay.
I didn't say you did.
We're differentiating between you and God.
The God that gave you your morals thinks it's okay.
Yeah.
The God that designed
Which makes total
morals.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, Brett, you
He
don't have a
thinks it's
biblical
cool.
view then of these things. You don't. You simply don't. If you disagree
Of
with
course
them,
I
you
do.
don't. No, you
The
don't.
fact that I can disagree with God shows my
You don't.
free will
Actually,
is
you
working
don't.
just fine.
Because you disagree with you disagree with the scripture. It's clearly stated right there. You
But didn't-
disagree with it.
But didn't God know that you were going to disagree with him?
He did.
Before
Yeah,
he formed you in your
know.
mother's womb?
So
It doesn't mean he made me disagree with him, though.
That is
Kinda
exactly
does.
what it
well,
means.
Well, Brett, that's really sad because if he didn't make you disagree, then you're looking at someone who is infallible and saying no, and looking at the scripture and saying no, this is actually wrong, even though I know it's right, it's wrong.
Well, he said God is not
let me ask
necessarily
you something,
infallible.
Scotty, do you plan on? I've heard TJ and Paul's view on this, but do you plan on having children one day?
It's none of your fucking business, Brett.
All right. Well, I mean, let's say hypothetically that you are wanting to, you do realize.
Let's say
obviously,
hypothetically you
that
have a
if bring
point.
children into the world. There's things that you're going to know that are
Brett,
very possible.
this has nothing to do with
happen.
anything. You don't have a biblical view on these matters.
Your argument from Parenthood falls
Yeah.
on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Just because you fucking blew a load up in fucking Dorne doesn't give you some knowledge that people that don't have children have.
Whether
Sorry.
you're a parent or not, you know that people are going to have an understanding
Parents
of what may happen.
and God are not the same thing, Brett. I'm saying you don't have a biblical view because we're looking at the scriptures, which you purport to be the basis of your belief. Is it not the basis of your belief? 'Cause
Yeah.
if it's not,
Scotty,
then how
I
did you hear about God?
Scotty, relax, guy. Now, Scotty,
Brett,
keep on telling
Brett,
me
I'm
there's
fine.
a
Brett,
difference
Brett, no,
between
I'm
knowledge.
fine. I'm just trying to talk to you,
I mean,
Brett.
if you just want
should
me to be
relax,
quiet the
Brett.
whole
Are you
time and you
okay?
narrate
Brett, are
it,
you
I'm
okay?
happy with that.
Are you all
Because
right,
I'm-
Brett?
Brett, are you okay?
Are you all right,
okay,
Brett?
Brett Stuh?
Brett, I can play the game too. Brett, are you okay, man? Are you doing all right? Is it any health
Yes, I
problems?
am
Is
doing wonderful.
Oh, you're all
Thanks for
right?
asking.
Okay. Wonderful.
The point
What I'm
is, there's
saying-
a difference between knowledge and making someone do something.
I'm not saying you have to do anything. I'm saying your views directly are in direct contradiction with the views of the Bible.
Well, I'm
the
not saying I'm
scripture.
doing anything either. I'm explaining free will to you.
Oh my god.
No, I think the opposite is happening.
What I'm saying to you is if you read something in the Bible, like "Thou shalt not kill," and then you kill someone, you're in direct contradiction of what the Bible has said, right?
If someone decides that they want to kill even though they're told not to,
Yeah, I'm saying they're going against the Scripture at that point. They're going against it. Would they be not?
well, there
Or
are
if they steal.
passages. There are passages where God actually does tell people to go in and wipe folks out.
Yeah, but that's okay because God is telling them, right?
I don't think it's okay. That's one of the issues.
So
I
you
have.
so you disagree with God?
Yeah.
I disagree with going in and killing a bunch of
But
people.
on
I
what
would
basis can
prefer
you challenge
negotiation
God's?
and talking?
But how can you challenge God's pronouncements? On what basis can you challenge
I offer
that?
no challenge to God whatsoever. I simply disagree. He could put me out of fucking existence.
But why
if
do
he
you?
wanted
Yeah,
to.
but why do you? But Brett, does it make sense to follow these teachings? If
He
you
doesn't,
disagree
though.
with them?
He doesn't.
He
doesn't
can't.
follow
That's what
the
I'm saying.
teachings.
He doesn't have a biblical view of the world. He clearly doesn't because he
This
denies
kind of
it.
bullshit is shameful.
I agree.
He lies. He cheats. He fucking everything he
All right, all
does
right,
is
all right.
anti-Christian.
All right. We've already
me?
we've put you up against Sam Harris. Yeah, you.
Oh.
We put you up against Richard Dawkins. We put you up against Sam Harris. Now, I think it's only fair that we give Hitchens a crack at you too. So
Can you give Hitchens a moment? Because unfortunately, I have been drinking some tea over here, and I got to piss again. But I can hear you. Go ahead and play Hitchens.
Okay, well,
I
I'm going to
like
go ahead and
Hitchens
play
like
it. I
that.
want, as you're pissing, just try to listen to what Hitchens is saying here.
Now, I am absolutely convinced that the main source of hatred in the world is religion and organized religion. Absolutely convinced of it. And I think it should be religion treated with ridicule and hatred and contempt. And I claim that right.
So when I say, as the subtitle of my book, that I think religion poisons everything, I'm not just doing what publishers like and coming
Whoa, hold on.
up with a provocative subtitle.
Did
I
he do
mean
blow?
to say it infects
You
us
might have.
in our most basic
I hope so.
integrity. It says we can't be moral without Big Brother, without a totalitarian permission. It means we can't be good to one another. It means we can't think without this. We must be afraid. We must also be forced to love someone who we fear. The essence of sadomasochism.
That's a good
The
one.
essence of-
I want to hear Brett
Yeah, I
talk
want to
about
hear
that
Brett
one.
talk about that.
Because that really is, and it goes back to his father song too. The what kind of father thing? Because he's compared God to a parent.
It's all about the money.
Yeah, multiple fucking times tonight we've heard God is like a parent. Well, now look at what a parent. You'll know when you're a parent. Parent. What kind of fucking parent allows people to starve? Allows his children to starve?
By the way, Paul's ego can't
You guys
become
mind
a
if I ask you, do you agree with Hitchens whenever he says it poisons everything?
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
Even science?
Yep.
Yes. Absolutely.
I believe that if there's an area of
Max Planck-
science that's being informed by religious thought, then that area of science is poison.
I mean, there are
That's,
scientists
science
that have
promoted
been
and
thrown in
encouraged
prison. by
Yeah, that
Christians.
doesn't mean that the person doing the science is religious. That means that if the person doing the science is religious and uses religious thought, magical thinking, to fucking reach a conclusion, then that's the antithesis of science. So yes, I believe it poisons science.
disagree
I believe
with
it poisons
Mr. Hitchens'
education.
religion. Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
disagree with Mr. Hitchens on this specific topic. The reason why is religion is not the forefront of why there's destruction in world humanity is.
What?
What?
Religion is a construct of humanity.
Has been used as a positive as well as negative tool by religious folks, but it is not the problem. It's humans that are the issue.
Okay.
Humans are the source of religion.
Well, no. According to
Humans
Brett's
are
world,
the source
according to
of all
Brett's
kinds of
worldview, there is a real God out there.
He's the source of religion, but we're the source of all the goddamn problems with it. That
Well, let
doesn't
me
make
give
any.
you an
Why
example.
is God
And
such
God-
an incessant fuck up?
we were to
God
take
is
all
the source of
holy
humans
books-
in Brett's worldview,
If we
so
were to
it's
take
still
all
on
the holy
God's
books-
fucking feet there.
Continue on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm saying if you take all the religious literature in the world and completely wipe out religion and all of it, humans are still going to kill, destroy, and do the things that they're doing.
I agree.
Which Hitchens has actually admitted whenever he was debating William Lane Craig. William then turned around and said to Mr. Hitchens, well, if that is true, then how can you possibly blame religion? It's obviously a human problem.
That doesn't... I'm sure that encapsulation of the argument really brought home what the exchange between Hitchens and William Lane Craig.
Well, I don't think... Do you guys actually believe religion is the forefront of all of our problems in the world?
Not all of the problems.
Not all of them. Not all problems.
But I do believe it poisons everything it gets its fucking greedy, grubby fingers on.
I believe that religion is first and foremost a force for evil in the world.
It's a detriment to the development of humanity.
An impediment.
Yes. That's what I would say.
I believe it's opened people's minds up and have come up with some good
inventions.
It closes
people's minds. Religious people do not question these sort of things. They go, well, this is what I believe.
Yeah, God said to do that, so I do it. That's the antithesis of open-mindedness.
That's not to say there's no religious people who question the origins of the universe, but if it's always going to be informed by a theistic belief, then you're limited in your scope and possibilities.
As long as you separate it from your scientific work, I got no problem with it. But as soon as you go, and then God made the hydrogen gas, I go, nope, sorry.
Well, I believe that most of the fields of science were constructed and put together by theists, so obviously...
That doesn't make a lick of fucking difference. We're not talking about the people that do science. We're talking about science in and of itself being a non-theistic thing.
So, Brett, what do you say to the fact that there were people who came up with scientific innovations back in the day that were contradictory to religious beliefs and they were put in jail for it?
Such as what?
Galileo.
Yeah, Galileo.
Yeah. Okay. I think that the way they did him was wrong, and the people who had done that, they should have been demoted.
That is religion being an impediment to scientific advancements.
You know, some scared pricks.
That is more so than the fact that some people who were scientists happen to be religious.
And surprise, surprise, religion continues to be no friend of fucking science with stem cell research and all the other fucking climate science, all the other fucking areas of science that people are trying to advance. That religious people keep stepping in and going, "Nuh-uh, because magic. Nuh-uh, because magical man made me. No." Yeah, religion's really advancing the scientific cause, Brett. How could you even make that fucking claim?
Brett wants his benevolent dictator, as Hitchens will go and say.
I guarantee you.
So let me ask you this, Brett.
Hello.
Let me ask you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. I want to ask you a question because there's another thing Hitchens mentioned, and they seized on something else. But I wanted to ask you about this. So we know you believe in God. We know you think He's the creator of the universe. Now, what do you think God expects of you and Brett? Do you think He wants your obedience?
He wants my obedience, sure.
Okay. So, but yet you disagree with many of the things that He's commanded people to do. So you don't give God your obedience. You think there is a God, but you disobey Him openly.
I disobey some of the points of view, sure.
Okay. Do you love God?
I do.
Do you fear God?
I do.
Okay.
But not enough where I'm going to hold back on my disagreements or views. I'm sure there are some people like that.
So God comes to you and says, I am God the Creator. I'm the source of all morality in the world, and I believe that slavery is good, and I believe that women are inferior to men, and I believe all these other things that you disagree with.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say to God at that point? Do you say, well, fuck you then, I'm going to go burn in hell for all time because that's what I'm going to stand by my convictions no matter what? Or how does that work?
Well, I've already said in video and publicly that I'm not even sure I'll make it into heaven.
Right. So you believe in God, but you're willing to let your disagreements with God damn your soul to hell for all eternity because you're not willing to accept some of the things that He prescribes.
The primary reason to be a Christian is to have everlasting life in the kingdom of heaven.
And to follow the teachings of Christ, which I also fail
there's other tenets, but
why do you follow the teachings of Christ?
But Christians are obsessed with
death. I try,
death.
but I fail at it.
Okay, so you're going to hell.
I have had that thought in my head before that's a good possibility. Sure.
So what's even the point of you as a God believer?
Yeah.
Well, the point of me is, even though I have my issue and I think that my fate may not end well, that doesn't mean I'm going to say there isn't a God because of it.
Okay. But why do you believe in God? Because you have no evidence for it. You only have emotional reasons for believing in God. That much is clear from our discussion with you. But he doesn't even provide you with that emotional catharsis of, well, I'm going to live forever and I'm going to be happy forever because God loves me and I love God and I'm going to obey God.
Yeah, he's going to roast you alive for eternity.
Well, I'm an annihilationist.
What does that mean?
That sounds like something a pro wrestler would say.
So you don't believe in hell?
I am an
Yeah, so
annihilationist.
he disagrees with.
So he doesn't. You don't believe in hell. You think you're just gonna disappear.
Yeah, he's gonna be destroyed. Yeah.
You're like one step from an atheist. You're like a half step. You just insist on continuing to believe in a God that's going to annihilate you at the end of everything because you disagree with him. Cool.
Okay.
I don't know if it would be just primarily in disagreement.
I want to call this episode "The Strange Theology of Brett Keane."
Yeah, I mean, I don't
or
even
something akin to that.
Yeah.
Because this is like, I've talked to a lot of Christians. I've talked to a lot of fucking pagans, Muslims, and Jews and all this. But man, I have never met someone with more fucked up, self-contradictory, self-refuting, Ouroboros fucking beliefs.
So-
They're just constantly
Brett's
destroying
positions
themselves.
Make no logical
So
sense.
that begs the question: is he full of shit? Is he making this shit up?
I don't think. I honestly don't believe that Brett believes
I think
a
Brett,
single word of
I
this
think
shit.
Brett is a fucking atheist who is trying to defend religious positions that he doesn't really want to defend. Because let's face it, every time we try to talk to Brett about Christianity and shit, for the first hour and a half of this fucking show, he did his damnedest to make sure he could get out of fucking talking about religion and theology.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to talk about it.
Because when he gets pegged on it, the shit he says is just absurd beyond fucking belief. It's insane, the shit he purports
said
to
all this
believe.
publicly on video many times about my
Okay,
issues.
I know, but I mean, maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't fucking know or care. But what I mean, like Brett, what you believe, what you're purporting to believe here is just nonsense. It's total gibberish. Every fucking sentence that comes out of your mouth is contradicted by the sentence that comes after it, or the sentence that comes before it.
There's no consistency in your views.
I mean, like, your worldview is fucking batshit insane. I think, Brett, that you're every bit the atheist that anyone here on our side is, and you're just fucking saying you're a God believer situation so that hopefully your other God believers out there will give you some fucking money every now and
See,
then.
I don't even think Brett's an atheist. I don't think Brett even considers the philosophical position.
You just think he doesn't even give a shit.
It's just a scheme to get people to listen to him. At first, when the atheist shit started to burgeon online, he was like, "Oh, I could do that," and he went and did. I don't think he cares one way or another if there's a God. I don't think he's even considered the position beyond reading what other people have written about it and spouting it off like it's his own original thought.
Well,
What do you think about that, Brett?
Would it be considered a contradiction if I were to say you supported Donald Trump, yet you disagree with some of his policies?
I would say it's a contradiction to say I supported him.
Well, didn't you support him?
No.
Didn't you get like paid money by Scotty?
He bet-
for
he
winning,
bet
like,
that
the
He
big
bet
ass
that he was
thing?
going to win. That doesn't mean that he support.
Yeah, I bet money
He made
that
a
Trump
bet.
was going to win the election because I thought he
So
was
you
going to
don't
win the
support
election.
Donald Trump.
No.
He never has.
No.
There's
Damn, I
the-
swore that you were a
There
supporter
have been
of it.
there have been positions of Donald Trump's stated positions that I thought actually were more reasonable than people were giving them credit for. But overall, no, I never supported Donald Trump.
Well, there you go.
I made a.
There you go. Nothing. Those
There
are
I
not
go.
comparable.
What? How, there I go. What?
Brett,
you
you've tried to compare
agreed. You
your
agreed with
belief
some
in
of the
God.
views, and clearly you didn't.
But
agree
I'm
with
not.
others.
Donald
I
Trump
don't
is not
believe
God.
Donald Trump is not a fucking.
Because
If I
they're not
believed,
equivalent things to
let
compare.
me just let me explain to you why this is fucking stupid. Because if I genuinely believed that there was a God and that he had a certain book of fucking rules that he created that are perfect in every way, I would find some way to adhere to those rules.
But I'm not
or
making
I
that
would say,
claim.
or I would say, fuck those rules and fuck this God. I'm gonna just be against him. Like if
Let me try to
if I
put
believe
this
there's a
to
God
reason
who
and-
supports slavery and supports all these other things that I disagree with, either I'm going to humble myself before that God and say, well, I'm wrong because that's God, or I'm going to say, fuck this God is evil, I oppose him. But you're not doing either of those. What you're doing is like, okay, I love God, but I don't love everything he said, but, you know, it's just this weird wishy-washy position where you don't have to fucking really stand anywhere and you can stand everywhere at once and just go, you know.
It's like how you tiptoed for months calling yourself a God believer and a theist instead of saying you were a Christian, even though you were putting fucking Jesus in front of every video.
Well, this was one of the reasons why I held off on calling myself a Christian, because I'm a work in progress.
But you're still not a Christian.
No, it's because you don't want to answer
have
criticism.
the greatest foundation for my view yet.
You still don't. Your
Oh, well,
view
I'm
is
working on
tenuous and shaky and filled with fucking holes. The foundation of your view is like a fucking ant colony that's about to collapse into itself and become a sinkhole.
A person could spend their entire lifetime reading through all this theology. I'm trying to figure out my stance. I'm still
All
in
right,
the
so this is from 12 hours ago on your Facebook. You said Christians and atheists will disappoint you. They all suck. My advice, go straight to God. Cut out the middleman.
Right.
What does that mean?
Means go straight to God.
Okay. How would you do that? How do you go about that?
Prayer.
Prayer. So you pray.
But what God are you praying to then?
And you're praying to what? The God of the Bible or just some vague, nebulous concept of
Gord.
God?
Usually when I pray, I just say God.
Okay, but who in your mind is God? Is it the God from the Bible?
The Abrahamic God?
Is it the Abrahamic God, or are you just speaking to any general sort of God entity that might exist out there?
I believe that it is the God that created all humans and life forms.
Right.
Is that the God of which is the God of the Bible or no?
Yes.
Yes, it's the God of the
That's
Bible.
so hard.
Okay. So how do you go directly to that God? And how does that God respond to you? And how does like when you pray to him, what kind of response do you get back from that?
Penis.
What?
It depends.
Depends on what?
What, you're changing your diaper right now? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, he's changing his depends. I get it. Okay. I see.
Depends on what I ask for.
What you ask for things? Okay, so give me an example of something you'd ask God for.
Sometimes I pray. A majority of my prayers are usually to thank him.
Okay, so usually you're thanking God for being an agoraphobic
No,
guy.
not
with-
agoraphobia.
okay.
That's
So
one
what are
of
you
the
thanking him
things
for?
I ask you. I
Okay.
say, God, can you give me the strength to be able to get over this psychological issue I have?
Uh-huh.
I guess the answer is no.
And the answer God has given you so far has been no.
No, I think that he has helped me. As you all have read and researched this, there's a lot of people who are stuck in their home. I can actually go outside, sit on my deck, and do
But
things.
God has the power
to totally heal you.
God has the
Like
power,
that.
according to you, to just rip the agoraphobia right out of you and say, nope, Brett Keane doesn't have agoraphobia anymore. Now Brett Keane can wander the fucking earth and
He might
search for
still
whatever
do it.
comforts he wants.
Might
He
do
might
it.
still do that. Okay,
It
so
still may happen.
So
God-
he's cooking something up, is what you're saying.
Did God give you agoraphobia?
No.
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 Well, where'd it come from? Was it the devil?
It's probably abuse.
Abuse
that God allowed to happen to you.
that God let happen
Yeah.
because
That God-
of free will.
Yeah, God knew it was going to happen before he created you.
Okay.
Yeah, God knew it was going to happen and allowed it to happen and allowed Brett to be abused.
Yeah.
All right, Brett. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know, man. Is there anything else?
Yeah, he said he had some questions.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Go ahead, Brett.
You want to give us some questions?
You still have those questions, Brett, that you wanted to ask us, or no?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead.
Well, let's do that then.
Let's now. It's time for Brett to turn the tables.
Turn the tables. Goodness gracious. Do you? I was curious. Did all of you actually get bullied whenever you were in high school?
No.
Bullied?
I wasn't really bullied so much in high school. I was maybe bullied in a few of the grades before high school.
Yeah.
I wasn't in high school very long. I
was-
left school very shortly.
I was bullied earlier. I was bullied very, very briefly in high school, but I wouldn't say that I was tortured with it. Most of the time I spent in high school
I would say
was fine.
most people in high school left me alone.
Well, I've seen videos of you in the past, TJ, where you've talked about issues that you've had and how people treated you wrong, and also.
I mean, I was, like I said, I was bullied a little bit earlier in earlier grades, yes, but not so much in high school.
Why do you think they did that for? What was their reasoning behind it?
I don't. I guess because like if I look on the literature on bullying, it's probably because they felt powerless in their home situations. I mean,
and also sensed a difference in you.
And they saw that maybe I was someone they could get away with badgering and bullying because I didn't necessarily conform to the norms of whatever sort of culture existed in the schools I was at the time. So they could probably get away with it so they could take out their frustrations on me. But I don't really feel like I was severely bullied as a kid. I feel like I was bullied on occasion, but I don't think it was like a...
You weren't tortured.
No, I wasn't tortured by bullies. But yeah, there was bullies in my life, sure.
Do you think that there's people out there who have actually tortured other young people?
Of course.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Obviously, yes.
There's evidence of that. Sure, yes.
Okay. That was one of my questions.
All right.
So you believe that they just for whatever reason, so they could feel powerful, and
Yeah.
they just felt like they could get away with it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's a variety of reasons
Usually
why, but
people
yeah.
that do that kind of violence to other people that are sadistic in some way have that sadism in their upbringing.
Yeah.
That's
Usually,
just
yeah.
borne out by psychology. So a lot of times bullies are bullied at home in much worse ways than they inflict on the kids
Or
at school.
abusers are abused when they're younger.
Absolutely.
There's correlations there, yeah.
The next question's actually for Paul on some of the same issue. Paul, you told stories in the past, and I've enjoyed your stories. But one of them was that you and some guys used to bully the hell out of some kid on a bus.
Yeah,
slap him
a kid
around,
named Patrick, yeah.
Why did you do that to him for?
I was a mean little kid. Kids are sometimes mean. I mean, I had some problems at home as well. My parents, right around the time, actually, that I bullied Patrick, and I don't think it's an excuse for that, but trying to understand my psychology at the time, my home life was a wreck. My parents were divorced. My living situation was not very solid. And there was this kid that was very different and meek and mild on the bus. And he had a big fat mole on the back of his neck, and I picked on him for it. And it got to the point where he confronted me one day about it after we got off the bus and swung his bag at my head and said, "Why don't you just shoot me?" And that was the day I stopped picking on him, because I started to see in him how I was feeling too. That I was feeling powerless and stuff. And I never really bullied other children other than Patrick. He was the one kid that I remember picking on. I was usually friends with the kids that were bullied. And in fact, the kid that picked on Patrick with me was another kid that was bullied pretty harshly in middle school, along with me. So it was like passing it down the line. Patrick was one social rung below us. And it was fucked up. And I think it sucks that I did it.
Did you ever apologize to him or say, "Hey, let's be friends"?
I have no idea how I would go about finding a kid that all I know about him is that his name was Patrick. And he went to school with me fucking 90 million years ago.
And he probably doesn't give a shit at this point in his life.
And there's a good chance that he probably has very vile memories of me and he wouldn't want to hear from me. I think Patrick, if he's still around and kicking, is probably just fine without hearing from me. I don't want to bring up painful memories from his past.
Well, what if he's not kicking? What if shortly afterwards he blew his brains out?
Well, I'm sure I would have heard about it. I grew up in a tiny little town, so I'm sure if Patrick blew his brains out, it would have gotten around
What
to
if
me.
people watch your shitty YouTube videos and blew their brains out?
I would feel awful.
All right, so
That's
hold
one
on.
of the reasons I'm quitting YouTube.
Yeah, okay. Is this building to some kind of point or what?
I just was wondering. I've listened to Paul and your videos in the past, and these were things that were interesting to me. I myself suffered through bullies and aggravation, so I was curious how it was dealt with.
Okay.
All right. So one of the questions that I have for Scotty, and this is not having to do with bullying, but I'm curious if the Amazing Atheist, TJ, Thomas Kirk, did not exist, where do you think you'd be today?
I have no idea. How can I answer a question based on a reality that doesn't exist, Brett?
Well, let's try this.
Brett,
Say
Brett,
tomorrow,
hey, Brett,
let's say
Brett,
tomorrow,
no, Brett,
DJ
Brett, look,
let's try this. DJ
Brett, no,
passes away.
no,
What-
I'm not gonna try anything with you, Brett. Okay, because it doesn't make any sense to answer something that's not the reality of the situation.
Well,
That's like me
people
asking
do
you
die.
if you. Okay, that's fine, Brett. But I'm asking you this in return. Okay, what if you never met your beautiful wife, Dorn? How has your life been different? What if you've never had whatever injuries or health problems it caused? What life would you have led, Brett? I don't know what would have
Well,
happened.
I do
if
know.
potentially something else would have happened. No, you don't.
You
Brett.
don't, though.
Oh yeah,
You
I would have
don't.
put a bullet in my head had I met my wife. Yes.
You don't know that. What if you had met someone else that was just as good to you?
Well, I know because a week before I met her, I ended up dropping some pills, laid in my bed, and waited to die.
Okay, that doesn't
Okay,
mean that,
that doesn't
meeting
mean-
Dawn saved your life.
No.
That means that you took too small of a dose and fucking inflicted us with your
Yeah,
existence
I
for
mean,
a few
like,
more
did
years.
she show up and pump your stomach or something? No.
Yeah.
All right,
It
so
just doesn't make any sense.
I'll tell you what.
Wake up
Scotty
if you
might
do.
not be willing to indulge your hypothetical bullshit question, but I will tell you that if somehow I didn't exist and Scotty still did, Scotty would be just fine.
Yeah.
Scotty's a competent person. He looks at the angles of situations. He knows what's going on. He's going to fucking be fine and land on his feet in whatever fucking scenario you put him in. So Scotty will be just fine without his brother Thomas Kirkley raise an atheist situation. He's going to be fine. If I
Okay.
die tomorrow, Scotty will fucking land on his feet. He'll be fine.
Okay.
Absolutely all right.
Now, I do want to ask something, and this is definitely very personal. You can pass if you like, even though you guys expect me to answer everything. But I have been looking at this Wikipedia of the Thomas Kirk thing, and I noticed at the bottom it says while he was in prison, the woman he was involved with, had a relationship with, was actually still continuing the scams and was sued for an extra $1 million. Who is the woman?
That would be Natalie, my stepmother.
Okay. I was wondering who this person was. All
I
right.
just write
so my
that
next-
down for the future attack
Yeah.
video.
I mean, go ahead. I don't care.
Her name's already out there.
Yeah, her name is out. Her name is on the fucking Wikipedia. I mean, yeah. That's my dad's wife, Natalie, who was my stepmom.
All right, my next question. I'm not going to pick on
Oh,
you
nothing
about
came
it.
of that, huh?
Yeah, no.
All right.
My next question is for Ben. I have seen videos where you're playing the guitar. Do you plan on taking up music in the future, or have you given up on it?
I don't really have the time to do it. I do it as a hobby these days. You know, it was something I enjoyed doing when I was younger, and I don't. It's not something I really have the amount of interest in that I used to.
Okay, so you don't plan on doing anything with it?
This is riveting stuff so
Man,
far,
I'm
Brett,
glad
dude.
we didn't turn this over to him at the
One of the
beginning.
reasons why I bring this up with Ben is because even though there's been this annoyance between us, he's got some talent, and I've got a brother who's a musician, and I like to see people do what their dream is, what they want to do.
Okay, he just
Ben,
told you it's
even
not
though
his
you have
dream, though.
Disagreements with me, would you find it interesting to actually work some kind of track with the brother?
I mean, I have to go through you to do it.
Then absolutely
No,
not, probably.
Don't you guys have this Facebook page?
I mean, Brett, do you understand that cordiality coming from a person like you who has literally sent fucking crazy people to our addresses so that they could possibly do harm to us comes
wasn't
off as
talking
like
about him and
slimy
Justin
and
Hopkins in the
smarmy and shitty? Like, do you understand all the shitty fucking bullshit that you've done, and that you just being cordial and going, hey, want to do some music with my brother, comes off as the slime balliest fucking shit?
My brother.
I mean, do you
doesn't have
understand
the
that?
issue with Ben?
You gave addresses of where Ben could be to psychopaths.
No, we've already been through that. I did not give out your address.
Oh, you're full of fucking shit, Brett.
Okay. I don't know if Ben wants to work with Justin Keane. That's
his
totally up to
that's
Ben.
his prerogative.
And if he wants to do that, he can. I don't know. Ben is like Ben just told you a second ago. Music's a hobby for him at best. Ben is a talented guitar player, but that's not really what he's pursuing at this time. He has other things he's doing. So, is there any
Okay.
other questions, Brett? Because
Yeah, my Yeah, I've got actually a lot, but I know you guys don't
God.
want to sit here all damn night. One of
All
my
right, well,
questions
maybe
for you,
just,
TJ.
okay, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
one of my questions for you. You do realize, obviously, that there's been a lot of problems with YouTube, demonetization, videos being removed, and all this. This
Yeah.
is one of the reasons I'm taking off from YouTube. But if YouTube were ever to dick you down, just knock the shit down, what would you guys do?
I mean, we're doing it.
I mean, look, we've already started putting infrastructure in place. First of all, our channel, or the Drunken Peasants channel, has already been pretty much completely demonetized by YouTube.
Yeah.
We survive mostly through fan support, and if YouTube just totally kicked us off their platform, then the Drunken Peasants would move to Twitch or somewhere else.
Something like that.
So that's what we would do. If YouTube really fucking persists down this fucking path, look, there's a lot of content creators that make stuff that's not in line with the YouTube model, but that stuff isn't just going to go away just because YouTube says, it's going to go somewhere else. There's other fucking venues, there's other fucking forums, there's other fucking places.
YouTube, a lot of people like this type of content, and YouTube kicking it off of their platform creates a vacuum that somebody's going to fill at some point.
It's going to go to
And that's where
vid.me,
we'll go.
it's going to go to Twitch, it's going to go to Vimeo, it's going to go to some other independent fucking sources. It's not going to go away just because YouTube says no. You can't put fucking the monsters back in Pandora's box.
Mhm. Yeah, but you know this as well as I. YouTube's the big player. All these other companies are.
Yeah, but if YouTube
they're ants compared to it.
if YouTube consistently acts like this, then they're not going to be the big player.
They're the big player because they have the best content creators, and they're fucking a good proportion of their content creators. And when those content creators can't create the content here anymore, then their fans are going to go, and YouTube's going to be going, "What happened?"
Yeah, the people creating the content are drawing the eyeballs.
When the PewDiePies and the fucking Philip DeFrancos and the H3H3s and the I Hate Everythings and all those people leave YouTube because YouTube has created an atmosphere that's no longer conducive to being creative and free to express yourself. When all those people leave, they're going to take their fucking audiences with them, and YouTube is going to be left holding an empty fucking sack and going, oh.
I used to believe that a long time ago. The question is also for Scotty and TJ at the same time. Like I said, you can pass on any one of the questions, but does the reason why, one of the reasons you guys are non-believers and have this obvious irritation towards religious people is it was, according to Wikipedia, religious people who sued your dad?
No,
not at all.
That has nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Nothing to do
It
with
wasn't.
it.
First of all, it wasn't. My dad wasn't sued. I mean, he might have been sued, but that's not. My dad was indicted by the federal government for not paying his taxes. That had nothing to do with religious people.
But wasn't it, he worked for the World Christian Church. Weren't
Right.
they the ones that brought it forth, the case? They were the embodiment.
No. My dad was the World Christian Church. He
started that church.
He started that church. That was his church.
So your father was a Christian, run the church.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
might
kind
not be
of.
a Christian.
Well, if it was a Christian or not is debatable, but
My dad had religious beliefs, and he had a church that was called the World Christian Church.
correct.
The World Christian Church, in my opinion, existed primarily as a way for him to evade taxes. But yes, he was the World Christian Church. My dad even preached sometimes.
Yeah,
I attended sermons. I attended sermons where my dad preached to the crowd.
Whenever you first started doing YouTube for the first few years, I've seen videos where people ask you if you'd ever been in church, and you said, "No, I don't do church. Didn't do that stuff."
Yeah, well, the only time I ever did was
Well, then.
a few times I went and saw my dad give sermons at his church.
Okay.
He built an actual physical building.
In the community at that time that we lived there, that church was actually known for its nativity scene that our dad paid for to put on.
Okay. So now we just got done watching this Christopher Hitchens. He's still up on video, and he says people who have religious thoughts, they're poisoned, basically making a case for being delusional, stupid in some way, or incompetent.
That's not what he said.
That's
not what he said.
Take it. Whenever he says
Well,
poison,
how
then
you
it's
take
not.
it is irrelevant. That's not what he said. What he said is that the religion as a concept poisons everything it touches. He didn't say that people that fucking had religious thoughts were poisoned in some way.
But Richard
He
Dawkins
said the religion.
actually did say at the Reason Rally that we are delusional for having beliefs in God.
Well, yeah.
I believe that you are.
Yeah, that is delusional, yes.
So
I believe that people that believe in God are deluded.
You have family members who are religious or
Yes.
have been religious. Do you believe they
Yes.
were delusional nutcases?
Yep.
Yes.
I don't believe that they were nut.
totally-
I wouldn't. I would stop short
Really?
of nutcase.
Yeah.
But I'd say delusional.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Completely wrong and irrational.
And you believe that they deserve to be mocked and insulted like that?
I believe their religion deserves
Their
to be
beliefs.
mocked. I don't believe that they personally
Yeah,
deserve
I don't want
mockery.
to attack them personally, but I attack their beliefs. not them.
Insult
It's-
the piss out of them.
I mean, if they come to me and try and argue their position, I may respond with mockery, but I don't seek out religious people. I like see some girl walking down the street with a cross around her neck and go, retard, bitch. No.
Yeah.
I believe that the concept of Christianity and religion in general earns mockery and deserves to be mocked and ridiculed and responded to with revulsion.
Correct.
All right, now I have seen videos in the past. I don't know if you've actually put this forth or went this far, Paul, but are some of you in this group believing that religious people are mentally ill for their religious ideas?
No, I don't think that every religious person is mentally ill.
No, I don't think religion is a mental illness, but I do think it's a form of self-delusion that can collude with a lot of different mental illnesses.
I think if, it depends on how you. I mean, if you ask me if religion is a mental illness in the same sense that bipolar disorder is a mental illness, then no. If you think that religion is a mental illness in the sense that it's a mind virus, as like described by Dawkins,
Or a
then,
language virus.
Yeah, then yeah,
Poison?
I do. Yeah, I think it's
Poisonous, yes.
I think it poisons people's minds. Yes, I do.
It's poisonous ideologies, yeah.
It's a poison
So
meme.
If this is some kind of condition having to do with mental illness, then why mock and make fun of people like that? Why not try to just help them?
Because, as I said, it's not a mental illness in the sense that like bipolar disorder is or something like that.
Also, religious people constantly push their beliefs and views onto the public at large and try to enforce their beliefs and these pronouncements onto other people. It's not as if they simply just sit by and go, okay, we just believe this and that's it. These affect our everyday lives. We see it constantly. There's a battle between people who have religious beliefs and people who don't, and want a secular government and a secular society based on rational, critical, objective views of the world, as best as you can do that.
Do you believe that religious people can be rational and logical?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Not about religion.
Compartmentalized from religion.
Yeah. Not about religion, but I've heard religious people say things that are completely logical and rational.
In other areas of their lives.
Other areas,
yes, they can be rational.
Where do you think logic and rationality comes from?
Our brains.
I think that, okay, I mean, like, if you're going to look at logic as a fucking, I don't know, mathematical construct or something, then logic is something that makes sense. Like, one apple plus another apple is two apples. That's logic. Because those facts correlate to something in reality that's demonstrable.
Yeah, you can follow through with these things. They follow a certain pattern.
But he asked where it comes from.
The
Well, where it
genesis?
comes from is making sense.
Right.
It comes from
Having
from
a brain
the
that's
nature,
capable of reasoning out problems.
Yeah,
and making inferences based on what
looking at reality,
The available data, yeah.
looking at reality and seeing it accurately, and making
Yeah, but
inferences
we
that are
very
accurate based on
limited in
that.
our perception of reality and what
What's
we
that?
can't. We are very limited in our perception of reality.
That's why we have things like science that can take us beyond just our immediate perceptions.
Okay. All right. This question is for Paul, and unfortunately, I think this might annoy him a little bit. But
That's
you
okay.
have seen the page that I did where people are constantly saying that you interrupt the other DP and talk way too often. Does
Okay.
that bother you, or do you just say "fuck you" to these idiots?
I guess I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me on some level, but I also understand that it's a meme in our community. Like there are times like I do my own channel, the Cinema for Cynic shit, and there's always a dude that, or at least one, that'll come in there and say,
Excuse me, Paul. I believe that channel is called Paul's Ego Movie Reviews.
"Oh yeah, that's right, Paul's Ego movie reviews." Sorry. And there's always some dude in the comments that say Paul talked too much this episode, when it's all the whole point of it is me talking. So
There's also people who make that the top comment on episodes where Paul actually wasn't on the episode. So it's like, to some extent, it's a joke.
Our community has always seized upon anything that they can with any of us and repeated it at us until it became meaningless.
All right,
So-
Brett, I'll give you a few more questions, but then we're going to wrap this up. So,
All right.
Go ahead and ask
Well,
if you got 2 or 3 more burning ones. Go ahead, but I'm not going to do this forever. So
All right, I've noticed
You ain't the one paying me $1,000. So.
Yeah.
Well, I've noticed in some of you guys' videos, as well as obviously other atheists out there, that there seems to be a trend that's been going on for the last few years where non-believers say they absolutely have no interest or desire to be parents whatsoever. And I'm curious why this is such a problem.
Free will.
Yeah,
well,
that's a good
what
point.
do you mean? Why it's such a problem?
Well, why don't you want to have children? You find a woman
because
that
there
you
are
find
seven.
fantastic
Because there
and
are
so-
7 fucking billion people on this planet. I think that's already more than enough. I don't feel like contributing to what I feel is the serious issue of overpopulation.
And also, like, if you don't really feel like you would be a good parent, then why procreate?
Yeah, look, I'm a self-absorbed person. I want to put my own interests first. I don't want to consider, I don't want to have to run every idea or fucking concept I have through the filter of, oh, well, what's going to be best for my kids? I want to be independent. I want to be self-centered to an extent. So that's how I choose to conduct myself. I think it'd be irresponsible of me to go, well, even though I feel that way, I'm going to have kids. Now, if I end up having kids on accident or something, whatever. I'll deal with that. And I'll be responsible as a fucking parent to whatever extent I can be.
I'm not necessarily sure there's a trend that atheists tend to have less children. Maybe they do. But, I mean, that not necessarily be the only factor in why someone doesn't have a child.
And atheists are such a small group, compared to religious people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it might make sense, though, because in atheism, there's no fucking tie. There's no great, in religion, you're supposed to go forth and multiply. It adds this whole, kind of impetus over your life. But as an atheist, you don't really have that. There's nobody standing over you telling you must have children. You must be fruitful. So I wouldn't be surprised if atheists procreate less than the general population.
One of the things that religion wants to spread through indoctrinating children. So having a fresh crop of children to indoctrinate into religion is important to religion.
Yeah, why do you think Catholics are against birth control?
As an atheist, I'm not interested in brainwashing a child into being an atheist. I'm more interested in actually just convincing people who've been brought up in the cults of religion that what they've been raised to believe is wrong.
I'm not even interested in that anymore.
Well, I kind of have to be because so many people come to me at these meetups and say that I did that for them. So I can't just ignore that that's the reality of what I do.
That is nice. That is different.
But I guess I really don't make it my objective either.
I think that you've probably spoken more young people on atheism than the churches around here have spoken about Christianity. And we got a church almost on every corner street, but I still think your audience overpowers them.
Well, my audience might overpower any
single church.
Not even any single church, because they have mega churches out there with huge congregations.
Well,
not a million people.
Not more than a million people.
Oh, no, but yeah, they do. Joel Osteen, dude. 1.5 million congregates.
Yeah, but in one place?
Nobody fills stadiums.
He fills a state. He has a giant stadium that seats 50,000 people that he sits down in there every fucking
the influence of
week,
Christianity,
multiple times a week.
If you want to, equivocate or quibble on that, the influence of Christianity in America is far stronger than TJ's influence.
Insanely stronger.
Or even the most popular atheist, Sam Harris, whoever, Richard Dawkins.
Doesn't matter.
If you added all of those atheist thinkers together, it wouldn't even approach the cultural
Not
influence of
even
Christianity.
fucking close.
Yeah, you never hear about politicians trying to swoon the atheist vote.
All right, Brett, you got 2 more questions, buddy.
Make them good.
Make them good.
I'll go ahead and give one to Scotty. And this, you mind if I ask at least 3 to each guy?
3 to
What?
each guy?
That sounds like more than
That's
one.
a lot of questions.
You got 2 more questions, so pick good ones.
2 more.
Of a headache. Ben, I was wanting to ask you, is there anything major or significant that you don't feel you agree with on, it doesn't matter what the issues are, just whatever issues with the rest of DP?
Sure.
I disagree all the time on shit.
Yeah, and one thing that we argued about was I think Twitter should be able to ban, even if it's shadow ban whoever they want.
Yeah, that was a contentious point.
What about culture? What about the culture?
Yeah, we've had arguments. We've had arguments about history and what the proper place of history is.
Penguins and redheads and tanning.
I mean, come on, look, we're not
argumentative fucks.
the best
all of us
wrestler?
are. Yeah, all of us are. Me and Ben almost came to blows over Undertaker or Ric Flair as the best wrestler of all time. So, I mean, like, there's been disagreements over things that are substantive and matter, and there's been disagreements over things that are stupid and don't matter.
Trivial things that don't matter at all.
We're not one entity with one fucking perspective, nor would we fucking want to be.
I mean, Ben was grilling me on my globalism shit and my bring on the nuke shit the other night. He disagrees vehemently with those two things.
So there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff that all of us disagree on.
Last question.
All right. One of the things that I was wanting to ask, has your mental state yourself, Paul, improved since getting on the Drunken Peasants? I remember you seemed a lot more, especially in your videos, you just got to the point where you just stopped making videos almost altogether or long periods of time. Has your depression improved?
Well, like over the course of the time that I've been posting videos, yes. It has improved marginally. But it's cyclical, like depression tends to be, so it comes in ebbs and flows.
What do you do about it?
I try my best to get through it and get the things that are that I'm obligated to do done. What else can you do? I mean...
Yeah, Paul. I don't think Paul ever is going to view his life as, oh, I'm going to be free of depression one day. It's
Absolutely
not. It's never going to happen. It's something he has to deal with. And Paul can have the greatest job in the world to the worst job in the world. He's still going to have those same feelings. I mean, maybe if he has the greatest job, his ideal dream job, he'll be a little bit happier.
Yeah.
But it's never going to mean that his depression is just going to magically vanish.
Depression has never been about my circumstances. So while having this job has been a positive force in my life, and it's been awesome, it hasn't fixed my depression.
I think Brett understands that if he understands little else. I don't know if he would actually apply that understanding.
Depression
but
doesn't.
I think he understands
Depression doesn't need a specific reason, is what they're saying. To you, Brett.
Well, it's a chemical imbalance, so it's just completely illogical.
It's a feeling.
Now,
you
it can
know?
be triggered by other things, stress and shit, but ultimately it's something that I have a very little control over.
There you go.
I do think that if someone's got support and they're in a decent environment or things are going their way, it'll definitely improve it. That's what I was wondering.
It can help it.
It can help.
Oh, sure. Having those things can help anybody, though. I mean,
yeah.
It's not just depressives that are helped by those things.
All right, Brett. So, do you have any final words of wisdom for the DP audience out there?
Well, it's the end of YouTube and of doing videos and all that. I'll blog for a little bit until the point I get bored of it, and that'll be it.
So, your plan... we're just making this clear. Your plan is
retire from all public life.
Brett Keane is tapering off. There's not going to be a public Brett Keane at some point in the near future. You're just going to kind of fade away and live your own life and just be content to have your family and your life, and you're not going to be a public figure anymore. Is that right?
I think I already faded away years ago.
Okay, well, actually, we agree on that.
Yeah.
The only thing, the Drunken Peasants has been your life support system, and I'm pretty comfortable pulling the plug. I don't know how these guys feel, but
I'm so skeptical of this anyway.
Well, yeah. See, TJ, you're talking with certainty, like this isn't just another one.
No, this is of course. I mean, like I don't buy it for a second, of course, but.
But let's ask Brett point blank. So, do you intend to retire from any sort of social media presence? Period. Just you're going to be done.
I'm going to every once in a while do the Twitter and do my blogging like I just pointed out, but it'll get to a point, obviously, where I'll either get bored of it or I'll find more interest. Depends.
Okay.
So
but you're not going to ever make a video again.
So the door is left open.
I might put an audio file up where people can hear them.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's all you had to say.
Not on YouTube, though.
Not on YouTube,
Oh, okay.
but not on YouTube.
I'm sure that'll never happen again.
That wasn't what we asked, but it's fine, Brett.
All right, Brett. So thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with the abuse. And thank anyone who watched this thing. I'm sorry that this was so fucking agonizingly painful.
I mean, at least you were there with us trying.
Yeah, at least we all went through it together, and
we did our best.
Good night and good luck.
I think they enjoy it way more than you do.
Oh yeah, maybe they do.
Bye.
Going through it directly is
All
painful.
right. Good night, Brett. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks.
Oh my god.
Please never fucking do. Let's never do this again.
Never, dude.